Today, live from Candlestick Park, it's the Cincinnati Reds versus the San Francisco Giants. Today's game is brought to you by Great Western's family of companies. $38 billion strong, Great Western will always be there. By Budweiser, the king of beers with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. By RCA, changing entertainment again. And by your local cable company. Cable makes your TV come alive. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Candlestick Park, where today we have the final of this three-game series between the Cincinnati Reds and the San Francisco Giants. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe Morgan, and welcome you to another Sports Channel telecast and our final telecast of the year here at Candlestick. And I want to make mention the fact, if you were not with me yesterday, my partner, normal partner, Dwayne Kuiper, is away in Wisconsin. He had a family death, and his brother Jeff and his other brother Glenn, they have gone back to Wisconsin. So I am without my partner Dwayne today, but I couldn't get a better partner to work with today than the greatest giant of them all, Willie Mays. So, Willie, welcome to our telecast today. And I know you must have mixed emotions. I do. This could be the final telecast from Candlestick Park. You were here for the first game ever played here, and maybe you're here for the last game.
I had butterflies last night, Joe. When Corey called me to come up and do the telecast, it's no telling how I feel in my stomach right now. When I first came out in 1958, I had the same kind of feeling. I'm hoping something will change because it's so emotionally in my stomach that I don't know how to talk about anything that pertains to the ballpark.
And I think that's interesting because we say it could or it could not be. We don't know for sure. Obviously, everyone here in the Bay Area is hoping that the Giants will be here next year, but I think we have to realize that this could be the final game, and that is history in itself.
Well, that's what I was saying to my wife last night. If we have to go, go. If we have to stay, let us stay, because I think the fans sometimes do not realize what a team means to a city until it's gone. What will the fans do next year during summer? Do they go to the beach every day? I don't think they can. I think sometimes you have to take a long look at yourself and see, hey, we need a ball club in San Francisco.
Well, I agree with you. And Willie and I'll be back with today's telecast right after these messages.
Where will you be when Jose Canseco makes his return to Oakland as a Texas Ranger? Where would you be when the San Francisco Giants play their last homestand of the 1992 season? Where would you be when the Golden State Warriors have their home opener against the Los Angeles Lakers? And where would you be when Eric Lindros skates for his first time against the San Jose Sharks? We know where we'll be. When you can't be there, be here. Sports Channel.
Folks, sorry we're taking so long to get out of the gate. Guess a few of our flying friends are out there ahead of us.
Jeez, I'm really starting to hate those guys.
Folks, still a few things to take care of up here, and still a few of our good buddies out there.
We're going to be late.
Northwest, #1 in on-time performance, luggage handling, fewest customer complaints.
Hey, if they wanted to be on time, they should have flown Northwest.
Call Northwest Airlines. Some people just know how to fly.
Welcome back to Candlestick Park. I want to make a mention here that today some cable systems are carrying Sports Channel for the first time. And we'd like to take this chance and extend a special welcome to those viewers for the first time. In addition, today's game will be shown free of charge, unscrambled, to all viewers. So anyone with a cable system will be able to watch this afternoon's contest. And there's the welcome to fans in Gilroy, Lodi, etc. And Tony Perez and Roger Craig just exchanged lineup cards at home plate. And you can hear the fans as they get into it. And I think that will happen the entire afternoon. I think we'll hear a lot from the fans today. And there's Roger Craig.
I think you're going to have a great crowd today, Joe. Looks like everybody that's participating the same as the paper's been writing about.
Right, yeah. And usually, obviously, Fan Appreciation Day usually brings out, a good crowd, and especially so today. And it's another beautiful afternoon here at Candlestick. We had a great afternoon yesterday. No wind at all and a nice sunny day. And we have a repeat of that this afternoon. Nice sunny day here at Candlestick. Very, very little wind blowing on the Stars and Stripes there in center field.
Can you imagine, Joe, that I could play in weather like this all year long? With the flag going out.
Yeah, it would have been a lot different.
Oh man, wouldn't it? Yeah. I don't think I remember playing many days here, especially I'm talking about.
Same with me. I don't remember it either. Well, you can hear the fans as they build with anticipation for the Giants to take the field. And there's the Giants taking the field. I want to say something. You know, baseball fans are a special breed because here are the fans of the Giants, and they're not sure if the Giants are going to be here next year, but they're all out in force, and they're giving the players a standing ovation. I think that's very interesting because I think only in baseball would you have something like this happen.
They also, too, Joe, I don't think they're worrying about the game whatsoever. I think they're worrying about the players, letting them know that they're glad to have them here, even though the team would happen to leave. I think it's a wonderful thing that the fans can do this with a feeling that they have.
Good point.
This is scary, though.
Right, you know, it is. I mean, you wonder what goes on in the players' minds when they stand on the field. Fortunately for me, I've never had to play under these circumstances, and I guess you haven't. Well, you did in New York, I guess.
I had it when the last game we played in New York, and I didn't know it was coming out here, and they told me during the game that we were moving to California. Well, being from New York at that particular time, I had a lot of butterflies, like I said before.
Let me run through the lineup real quick here. Bibb Roberts will lead off. Willie Green will hit second. Barry Larkin will be third. Paul O'Neill will hit in the cleanup spot. Hal Morris, Jeff Branson, Joe Oliver will do the catching. Dave Martinez in center field, and Jose Rijo will pitch for the Cincinnati Reds. There's Jose Rijo as he warms up in the bullpen. And Jose Rijo has won 14 ball games, and on the mound for the Giants, as we take a look at the umpires, Charlie Williams behind the plate, Doug Harvey, Jerry Crawford, and Jerry Davis as Bibb Roberts takes, well, he doesn't take the first pitch. He pops it up in foul territory, and that's out of play. Bibb Roberts has moved back into the National League batting race. He had 10 straight hits last week in one stretch. He had 4 straight here before being stopped yesterday. So he has raised his batting average from around 301 all the way up to 325, and the league leader is Gary Sheffield, who is at 329 starting today's game. So Bibb Roberts has a chance.
Bibb Roberts looks just like a little Joe Morgan out there. I said this many times at home, just watching him.
He does remind me of myself a little bit. There's a base hit in the center field. He hit it off the fist, but that's a base hit.
Looks like a slider coming in, Joe.
What is the most hits you ever had in a row? Do you remember?
I think 5, 4.
I had 6 once because I had them all in one game, then made it out the first time up the next day. But to get 10 straight hits, I
don't think I ever got that
record. And Bibb Roberts also steals a lot of bases for the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, he leads their team in stolen bases. Roberts has stolen 44 bases. He's been caught 16 times. And here's Willie Green. I talked to Tony Perez and Lou Piniella before the game, and they said that this kid is going to hit over 20 home runs next year for the Cincinnati Reds. He had 27 home runs this year in the minor leagues, and drove in 106 runs. They say right now he hasn't hit any home runs because this is the first time he's ever actually played in September, and he's a little tired, and that's one of the reasons he's not hitting many home runs.
Well, if you look at his bat, Joe, I watched him last night. Look where he holds his bat. He has to be strong to do that because he's got to bring it back and then forward. Good
point. But they say that he is going to be a star, and they say not in the future. That future is next year.
He's ready right now?
Yeah, they think he's ready. So look for Willie Green to be probably the starting third baseman for the Cincinnati Reds next year. I don't know what's going to happen with Sabo. He is on the final year of his contract, and I guess they'll work that out.
He's been on the DL quite a
Yes.
bit now, hasn't he?
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bip Roberts at first base. Just underway here at Candlestick Park, where the Giants are expecting a capacity crowd. Pitch out, nothing on. And the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Larry Carter on the mound. There you get a good look at Roger Craig, who calls the pitch outs. He, along with Bob Lillis, are kind of the brain trust of the Giants. There you see the numbers for Carter. He's started 4 games, hasn't completed any. That ball is hammered in the left center field. That's in the gap. And it will be off the bottom of the fence. It bounces away from Felder. Bip Roberts will come in to score, and stopping at second base with a double is Willie Green. And there's a little display of the power we talked about. He
Looks
had 27
like
homers in the minors.
Looks like a fastball away, Joe. I think it was up and away.
Yeah, it was up and looked like it was out over the plate.
Yeah. Here we go here. This kid is strong. Fastball.
Yeah.
I look out over the part of the plate.
That's a pretty good swing, too.
And he stays right on
stays
it, too.
right there. That's the point. He stayed right there. Good swing. And Tony Perez, as I said, and Lou Piniella said he is going to be a star in this league. So with one run across for the Reds and no one down, Barry Larkin is the hitter. Larkin is hitting .309. He leads the Reds in runs batted in with 78.
That's very rare for a shortstop, Joe, to do that. I think I remember Ernie Banks did it quite a bit, a few times with the Cubs, and the kid Cal Ripken for Baltimore.
We were talking about that earlier today, Willie. I think the game is changing, and I don't think it's for the better, in that you usually got your run production from your corners. You know, your first base, third base, outfielders, left field, right field. And you wanted your defense up the middle of the diamond, you know,
just to make the double play.
But now we're getting, you know, where people are, you know, their infielders are the ones that are hitting home runs, driving in runs. And I think sometimes we get a little lost in that and forget that their main job is to make the double play. As the count goes to 3-0, and Kurt Manwaring is going out to talk to Larry Carter. One thing to remember, you know, with Carter, you know, he's a young fella, and he's had 1 ball hit off the fist for a base hit, and then he's had 1 hit solid in the gap. And it sometimes becomes difficult to say, well, I made a good pitch, they hit it, and I made a bad pitch, and they hit it. What do I do next? So he has missed with 3 pitches to Barry Larkin.
This is a strange game for him, too, Joe. Coming in the pitcher the last day of the season and not knowing what's going on, and he may be a little nervous out there.
There's a strike on the outside corner. In fact, Roger Craig debated on whether to let Larry Carter start the last game, or he had some other choices of some veterans, and he decided, hey, we need to go in the rotation that we had set up, and Larry Carter is on the mound.
He's got to start sometime.
Good point.
Yeah, let him start now. If he gets beat up, he gets beat up.
3 balls, 1 strike. Slider in the dirt, and it's ball 4. No, well, the scoreboard said ball 4. Oh, Barry Larkin doesn't want his bat to touch the ground. Okay. Yeah. Out comes Roger Craig. He's going to have a chat with Larkin.
I think this is good, Joe. I think Roger's going out, done what I feel is the right thing, to just talk to him.
Yeah.
See if he is nervous and see if anything is wrong with him.
You know, we were talking earlier, you know, you and I have talked a lot about baseball over the years, and I always wondered, you know, you came here to Candlestick Park, and there was no inner fence in left field. When you first came, you had to hit it all the way into the seats. But the wind kind of blew to right field, and I remember you starting to hit a lot of balls to right field. Did you make
I made my mind up that I couldn't hit the ball out to left field. As you know, if you look at the bleachers out there, that was the home run part that I had to hit at. So what I try to do is make sure I started the ball straight away center field, and the ball would blow right center. And it wasn't that difficult to do because I inside out it.
Fouled out of play. Well, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit. It is difficult to do. I mean,
well, for
they
me,
hit that way with they hit it that way with power. I think is difficult to do, because one of the things I've noticed about Will Clark this year is he's hitting more balls to left field. And at first he did hit with power that way, and then all of a sudden, I guess the last couple of months, he hasn't hit with power to left. Paul O'Neill is the hitter. Runners at first and second. No one out. Hit hard to Will Clark. He bobbles. He will only get one as he runs over and tags first base. The runners will move up. Will had a shot at starting a double play if he could have come up with it cleanly, but it bounced off his glove.
This ball here, I think Will is thinking about second base before he ever thrown to pick up the ball. This is why the double play comes in. If you look at it, cleanly, he had its sights on the ball right away.
Yeah, he was looking up to make sure he made the throw to second base.
Yeah.
So with 2 down, Hal Marsh will be the hitter. Runners at second and third. The Giants are trailing 1-0. The Reds have scored 1 here in the top of the first. Hal Marsh is the hitter with 2 down. Larry Carter, after a visit by Roger Craig, did throw a strike. In fact, he threw 2 strikes. And there's another one as Hal Marsh swings and misses. Hal Morris has driven in 52 runs this year. Every Reds starter, meaning everyone out there on the field now and even some who are not, have been injured and missed a lot of time for the Reds this year. And Hal Morris is hitting 275 after 272 after challenging for the National League Batting Championship last year. He finished second. And there is a graphic congratulations to the Pittsburgh Pirates as they again win the National League Eastern Division title by beating the New York Mets 4-2.
Boy, that's a great thing for Pittsburgh. No one picked them to win this year because of the Bonilla trade to New York. And
grounded to second base. Robbie Thompson with it. So Larry Carter gets another out, but another run comes in to score as the Giants conceded that run by playing back on the infield. And now the score is 2-0 in favor of the Cincinnati Reds. Yeah, that's the 3rd straight Eastern Division title by the Pirates, but they haven't ever, gotten to the World Series.
Oh, well, I think they have a good chance. It's hard to get to the World Series,
right,
because of the playoff. You got to play 4 games, I think, in each playoff now, where you have to play 2 out of 3. It's getting very difficult now.
Before, you only had to win the National League.
And then you was in, yes.
In the World Series, so it was much easier.
Yeah.
Because in a short series, anybody can win.
And 4 out of 7,
yeah. Jeff Branson is the hitter. He's hitting 295, 15 runs batted in. He hits a fly ball in the shallow center field. Coming quickly is Felder. Going out is Jose Urrude makes the catch. And so the Giants get out of it, but not before the Reds come up with 2 runs on 2 base hits. And they leave a runner. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Reds 2 and the Giants nothing.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game.
Do a little legwork for your alma mater on Sunday, October 4th by joining Nancy Dietz, Bill Rogers, and Frank Shorter at the Alamo Alumni Run. Starting at 9 a.m., it's 5 miles through Golden Gate Park with a stadium-style finish and post-race party at the Polo Fields. You'll be scored individually and with other runners who happen to be from your school. Buy a pair of Mizuno shoes at On the Run and get a free entry. Call 415-681-2323 for more information. The Alamo Alumni Run is sponsored by Alamo Rent-A-Car and KSFO Radio.
At American Savings Bank, you'll know if your home loan is approved in 15 days or less, or you won't pay the processing fee. No question. Working together works.
Obviously, these guys knew a lot about Bud. But was it possible they learned it all on TV?
I think it was on TV.
That Bud, that's beer.
We watch TV. We've never seen this stuff.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Exclusive Beechwood aging gives you a taste and drinkability you find only in Budweiser.
I mean, how could we have missed it?
Well, maybe you guys should get out more.
Let's take a look at the Franklin batting leaders in the National League. As I mentioned, Gary Sheffield is still leading with a .329 average. Sandy Van Slyke only 3 points behind, and Bip Roberts, with his base hit in the first inning, he will be at least up to .326. We do not know how Van Slyke fared in the ball game in Pittsburgh, but John Kruk and Tony Gwynn, those 2 averages are frozen because they're both out for the season. So those are the Franklin batting leaders in the National League. Well, we go to the bottom of the first, and we'll take a look at the Giants lineup. Very quickly, Mike Felder, Willie McGee, Will Clark, Chris James. Matt Williams at third, Robbie Thompson, man wearing it behind the plate, Jose Uribe, and Larry Carter on the mound. And Mike Felder leads it off. Mike Felder is the winner of the Willie Mack Award given annually to the Giants player who most inspirational, etc., and all those other great things, voted on by his teammates.
Well, what a pleasant to talk to this young gentleman. He is such a fine man. I met him in spring training when we got him from, I guess, Milwaukee. I think we got him from Milwaukee. When he came over here, he was just a fine kid. He lives here, too.
Yes, and he's done a great job for the Giants. Jose Rijo is on the mound, and there's strike 2 called on Mike Felder. Wasn't happy with it. Jose Rijo leads the Reds. At least he's tied with Tim Belcher now. Belcher won the game Friday night, so they both have 14 victories. But Jose Rijo has won 5 in a row, popped up foul and out of play. No one's able to get to it. Jose Rijo has won 5 straight starts, and he's actually pitched better than that. He has allowed only 2 runs in his last 28 innings pitched. And the Reds have scored a total of 18 runs in his 9 losses. He averages 7.6 strikeouts a game, and he also gives up 1.9 walks a game. So he is one of the better pitchers in the National League. He missed some time this year on the disabled list. He had a sore arm.
Look at the number he's wearing. 27.
Right.
That's the Marichal.
Juan Marichal. He's married to Juan Marichal's daughter, Rosie.
Yes.
There's a foul, and he also splits his bat. That's one of the things the players have complained about. It says the wood is not as good as it used to be.
If I'd have had a bat like that, I think I would have called the guy tomorrow.
Yeah, because it would
be some wood, man. Ain't nobody supposed to break a bat like that.
No. But I guess
the trees are about strong.
Yeah. Well, there's another thing, Willie. Look at Mike Felder. He's wearing some Oakley blades, they're called, the glasses that they hit with. You know, they're like the shooter's glass, the rifle, you know, the
marksman. You mean the glass that they hit with?
Yeah, he's hitting with them.
I'd be scared somebody hit me in my eye, man.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the hitters are using them. They say it helps them zero in and focus on the ball. Foul back out of play, and the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. But yeah, I don't know about that.
Does he drive with him?
I guess so. They wear them. Tony Gwynn wears them in the outfield, always down. Yeah, he keeps them down. Tony Gwynn swears by them, and a lot of hitters are starting to use them, you know, at the plate, especially in day games. But then you've got some guys that wear them at night. So
well, I like to wear a pad just to see what's going on.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, popped up. That's foul, but Joe Oliver has another shot at it, and he makes the catch. Felder was having some problems with Rijo's forkball, and he threw him quite a few of them, and that's why he was out in front. Well, the Pirates won the Eastern Division of the National League, and this is the final out of the ball game. Strike 3 on the outside corner, and you can see how happy the Pirates are. And that's their 3rd straight divisional title. And they have to be happy because they were pushed to the limit by Montreal. Willie McGee is the hitter. Montreal put on a rush down the stretch and kept the Eastern Division race very close until the end.
That could give Barry Bonds a good chance at the most valuable player, you know, if they happen to win everything.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to McGee, ball 2. What would you think? Because they have to vote after the season is over, before the World Series. So what do you think, Eric?
Well,
you got Terry Pendleton, you have Sheffield, and you have Barry Bonds.
You have Barry Bonds. I think they would have to pick a fly ball. I think you have to pick before everything happens, because if you wait till the season is over and then you pick a most valuable player, I don't think it's right to all 3 of them. I think you got to pick as soon as the season is over, and then pick the most valuable player.
Well, who are you choosing? Well, this is Will Clark, and you hear the ovation for Will. Those are not the numbers that people have grown to love here in San Francisco, but this is not a normal season for the Giants team. And Will Clark under the circumstances, has done pretty well.
I think, Joe, Will Clark is the team leader. He have to hit the ball over the fence quite frequent. I think he have to start back pulling the ball, like you said before, because Singer's not going to do too good in this ballpark here. He's got to start turning on the ball more.
I agree with you. Will, and we see this quite often. He's behind. I mean, the pitcher's behind Will in the count now 3-0. We see the pitchers get behind Will by not giving in to him. But I think that you're right. Will is going to have to pull the ball a little bit more to be as effective as he has in the past, because, you know, he's down to 16 home runs, whereas, you know, you're going to expect 25 or more.
Correct. You're looking at 25, 30 home runs out of Will just about every season.
Right.
So 16 is not his number.
Chris James is hitting in the 4th spot today. James is playing left field. James is one of the Giants' off-season acquisitions. And he, along with Corey Schneider, has had some real good stretches this year that really helped the Giants. Slider on the outside corner, called strike 1.
Chris James and I talked in spring training. I felt that he and Corey Schneider had to have a lot of playing time, because you could tell just about just looking at him in spring training, they was ready to play.
That ball's hit hard in the center field. Going back on it is Martinez. Back to the fence, and he makes the catch right as he gets to the base of the fence, and that'll do it for the Giants here. They leave one. And after 1 full, it's the Reds 2 and the Giants nothing.
Wants to know, what are you doing this offseason?
Hopefully enjoy some championships, spend time with the family. We're all involved in the Animal Rescue Foundation, so we got work to do for that. And if we're ever at somebody's house that has a television on, I'm going to watch the Sharks on Sports Channel.
Well, hopefully my off-season won't start till early November, and then I'll go back to Kansas City, and first I'll probably go to a few of the Blades games, because they're the AAA team for the San Jose Sharks, and then I'll probably try to get some Sharks game on TV on Sports Channel.
Well, I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy the season that we've had, play a lot of golf, travel a little bit, and watch the Sharks on Sports Channel.
Well, this off season I'll be back in the gym, lifting weights, getting stronger, and I'm going to take up ice skating lessons and maybe go out there and try to play with the Sharks. And I'm also going to watch the Sharks on Sports Channel.
Tune in for the San Jose Shark season this year on Sports Channel.
The RCA projection screen is so big, you'll feel like part of the show when you watch the RCA home theater. It also has Dolby surround sound. It's so real.
Stand back, everyone.
You'll forget you're sitting at home.
Let me handle this.
The RCA home theater is just another way we're changing entertainment again.
See RCA home theater products at these fine stores.
2-0 Reds as we go to the top of the 2nd inning. This program is authorized under television rights granted by the San Francisco Giants. It is solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the picture, descriptions, or other accounts of this game without the express written consent of the San Francisco Giants is prohibited. We go to the top of the 2nd inning, and Joe Oliver will lead it off for the Cincinnati Reds. Oliver takes a strike from Larry Carter on the inside corner.
Joe, I've been watching a lot of games at home on satellite. I've been watching Oliver for about 2 weeks now. He's been pulling the ball left center, right center. He's been moving it around and done a very good job.
Well, you've noticed a lot of things, because I was talking to Lou Piniella, and he told me that's the reason that he's been hitting well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He said he's been hitting the ball to left center to right center, and before he was a dead pull hitter, and he was struggling.
Well, the reason for that, I think he's blocking the front foot out.
Yeah. Well, he's got that pigeon-toed stance. He's got his foot turned in.
That means he cannot turn on the ball too much.
Yeah, but he's been hitting the ball well, and his average is, you know, up at 270, and that's a good average for a catcher if he can keep it around that norm and play good defense. He swings and fouls it, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. They're playing pretty much straight away in the outfield. Felder in center field's a little bit, couple of steps off to the left field side, but basically they're playing straight away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, a beautiful afternoon here at Candlestick Park. And the Giants are expecting a capacity crowd. There are a few seats still empty, but very few. And there's what we're talking about. That's going to be a base hit down in the corner as he lines it down the right field line. McGee up with it.
McGee slipped, Joe.
Yeah, but I don't think he
would have caught it anyway, but he might have had a better chance at it because as soon as he started, he slipped right away.
But again, that's what you were talking about. That's the way that he has been hitting lately.
Heads go again.
Pitch
if you watch the pitch away, see Willie McGee slips right away. I don't think he would have caught up anyway.
You know, I watched. Actually, I kind of remember you stood away from the plate, and as you told me once, you bail a little bit, and but you leave something behind.
Oh, you leave the bat behind. That means you can hit the ball to right field anytime you want to.
So I remember a lot of things. You don't remember this. This was my first year in the big leagues. We were here at Candlestick Park one day, and I came out to watch you and Cepeda and McCovey, all you guys take batting practice. Man. I wanted to just watch. And we were talking about that. You know, you were bailing. You said, but I use this S2 big bat and I leave something behind.
I also remember in Houston, we had a meeting on you, and they said, well, he can't hit the ball out of the ballpark. I said, don't let him fool you. I said, pitch him away. And I think I made a catch on you. I missed the ball, but I think I had it in my glove. And you came to me the next day, what am I doing over there? I said, that's the way we play you.
Well, I don't remember you missing the one you're talking about. I remember you catching one, and I remember yelling at you out there. You dove and tumbled over and made this catch, and I started yelling at you. I said, I hope you broke your neck. And all these guys on my bench team were looking at me, hey, man, that's Willie Mays. You don't hope he hurt himself. I said, well.
When you're playing games, I don't care who's out there. You know, you're trying to win.
Yeah, no balls, 2 strikes to Martinez. 2-0 Reds. We're in the top of the second inning. Outside corner, ball strike 3.
I think the kid was a little nervous, Joe. Now you see how freely he's throwing down.
Yeah, he is throwing much better.
He's relaxing down, and I think Roger did a great thing by going out the first inning just to let the kid know, hey, you're in the majors, but you have the same. Look at how he's free throwing now.
Yeah.
On the outside part of the plate, yes.
But again, like you say, he seems more relaxed now than he was before, because truthfully, right after Roger came out, he threw about 4 or 5 strikes in a row.
You can ask me. I was nervous my first time when I played. So
let's face it.
I know about that.
If you're not nervous, something's wrong with you. Here's Jose Rijo. He takes a strike. Rijo's hitting .209, which is pretty good for a pitcher. He has 14 base hits and 6 runs batted in.
Feldner is playing a little close because Rijo can hit the ball a little hard. You know, I've seen him hit.
And especially on a day like today when there's not any wind out there.
Yes. He's moving back a little bit now.
1 ball, 1 strike. Jose Rijo against Larry Carter. Good look at Larry Carter, new to most Giants fans. Jose fouls it off to the right, not a play. It's kind of interesting, you know, he always loved Juan Marichal. He doesn't have the high leg kick like Marichal, meaning Jose Rijo, but he always, looked at him, looked up to him, and thought he was his.
I think he has a screwball too.
Yeah, he has a lot of different pitches, but when I talked to him last time, he said he's basically going with fastball, slider, and this newfound forkball. But he said every once, but he said he falls in love with it sometimes and throws it too often. He doesn't throw the screwball nearly as much as he did before.
Well, reading the paper this morning, Joe, I was looking at where Gary Carter is going to retire. Now, you know, that's
there's a liner in the center field, but
he had to play
right. He plays perfectly, and he makes the catch. Go ahead.
But I was saying Carter is making the right choice, because I know when I was 41, 42, I had a chance to play another year, and I didn't feel that I could play, and I think when you get that feeling in this game of baseball, you have to just get out. You know?
Well, that exactly happened to me. I can't remember if I was 41 or 40 when I retired. But my last year, I decided I had 1 more year to go. I guess on the contract I could have played again, but I decided that I wasn't the same player, and it was time to move on. And I agree that and it comes to everyone. We sit here today looking at Will Clark in the prime of his career, but how quickly it will go. And how quickly things pass. Will Clark will be retiring, and it seemed like only yesterday when it happens. But baseball is like that. That's one of the real frailties of the game. You have to retire.
Did you see what Bill Roberts did a few minutes ago?
No, go ahead.
He stayed about 5 or 10 feet from home plate until the pitcher got in the
pitcher got on
dugout.
deck, yeah.
That's what you used to do.
Yeah,
You know, and it reminded me when I let off about a year, half a year, I would do that, and I didn't like that. I want to go to the plate. I want to hit right now, and I don't think I could be a leadoff.
No, you shouldn't have been anyway.
No.
This doesn't look like a leadoff hitter swing here. Look at this. No, leadoff hitters don't swing like that.
No.
That is the Say Hey Kid at his best. It's probably one of those 4 home runs you hit in Milwaukee. That was a Milwaukee uniform. Bibb Roberts hits one in the right center field and deep, going over and fighting the sun is Mike Felder, but he does make the catch, and that'll retire the side. So good play by Mike Felder, really fighting the sun, but it's still 2-0 Reds as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Jose Canseco returns to Oakland for the first time with the Texas Rangers, and you can only see it on Sports Channel. Watch Jose take on his old team Tuesday at 7.
Looks like the perfect house. Everything that you've always wanted. And some problems that may surprise you. Well, that's why you need a realtor. You see, realtors know what to look for and how to avoid big mistakes. They'll even help find the right financing, the kind that you get at Great Western. You know, buying a home is tricky. So let Great Western and your realtor help, because without them, it's real easy to get fooled.
San Jose State head coach Ron Turner returns to Stanford looking for a win over his old team. Only Sports Channel can bring you the matchup on our special Sunday replay. Tune in Sunday at 8 for San Jose State against Stanford, only on Sports Channel.
2-0 Reds as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Today's game is brought to you in part by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Matt Williams will lead it off. And the fans give Matt a nice ovation. Willie, you know, before the game we were talking about, you know, what the Giants have to do next year to be a good ball club and what some of the stars will have to do to bounce back, because I think if you look at the stars on the team, very few of them really have had, you know, the outstanding
years that they
that
should have.
normal.
First of all, I think, Joe, is that they got to pick a leadoff man to start off with. They got to start from the top, and I don't know who that would be.
Right.
Then you got to get a second man that can move them around. You know, like we played in the old days. When I say old days is when you and I played. But then you got to, would you have a good third man could come in? Then you need a 4th man to come in there. So I think.
Grounded to third. Willie Green backs up. Long throw. Not in time as he throws.
Very good.
Hal Marsh off the bag. We'll have to see how they scored. It's a base hit for Matt Williams. The ball was hit deep behind the bag. It was a long throw. I know if you
it's a bad
like
hop
this,
here.
Make it.
See, what happened here, Joe, is he's backing up. Now he's got to make a very, very long throw. Matt, he pulled him off the bag anyway, but I don't think he would have had him anyway.
No, he got enough on the throw. It was just off line, but we'll see. Matt had to play beat at first base.
He had to play beat, yes.
Here's Robbie Thompson. Robbie takes a strike. It was interesting, but I agree with you. You said they need to get a leadoff hitter and some established second base hitter, meaning a guy that can move the guys along, and they need a 4th place hitter. They have Will Clark as their 3rd place hitter.
That's why I passed him. You got a third man. You don't need a man like that.
2 to 3 that you mentioned. Robbie fouls one out of play down the right field line.
But you need a guy. You need guys that are going to play every day. It's what you need, so they can get used to playing together. I think sometimes when you have guys that platooning, which they do not consistent, it might hurt the hitting part of some of the guys. And I know I didn't want to platoon. I want to play every day.
Robbie chases a slider outside, and he becomes the first strikeout victim for Jose Rijo. You know, that brings up a very good point. you know, when I pick teams, they ask me to pick a team, you know, at the beginning of the season who's going to win the pennant. I never pick a team that has a lot of platooning going on.
No, I want 9 guys.
You can't get any consistency amongst your starting pitchers. You want 9 guys to play every day. You may have 1 or 2 positions that are not important platooning, but you want the first 4 guys in your order. They need to get some continuity as they play together. Here's the first pitch to Kurt Manwaring.
Well, I go back to Cincinnati, too.
Right.
When you play at Cincinnati, you had every day you had 8 guys on the field.
Every day you had.
Maybe every now and then Sparky would give you an off day.
Right, but you knew, like you say, what the guy in front of you was going to do, what he was supposed to do, etc. And I think that's what you're talking about. Grounded back to Jose. He fires to second. Should be 2, and it is, as Manwaring grounds 1-6-3. And that'll do it for the Giants here in the bottom of the second. We've completed 2. It's the Reds 2 and the Giants nothing.
Sports Channel wants to know, what are you doing this offseason?
I'll probably be playing a lot of golf and going over to Hawaii and probably watching the Warriors on Sports Channel.
Well, I'm going to get married. And I'm going to watch the Warriors on Sports Channel.
I'm going to spend the winter in the Bay, and I'll probably come to the Coliseum and check out some Warrior games. And when I can't get here, I'll watch them on Sports Channel.
Call 1-800-4R-SPORT to order the Warriors season on Sports Channel.
Now have your own personal coach for baseball, softball, even tennis with Slow Toss. Slow Toss is a non-motorized, gravity-fed system ideal for solo practice or team workouts. Take Slow Toss anywhere. No power needed, fits easily in your car trunk. Perfect for playgrounds, schoolyards, or indoor with a catch net. Slow Toss uses almost any size ball, and it's self-paced. Just tap the end to start the ball. Slow Toss swivels for switch hitters, bat left or right, adjusts for kids or grown-ups. To order your Slow Toss today, call 1-800-633-TOSS. 3 easy payments of $92 plus tax. Visa and MasterCard accepted. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. Improve your batting average with this universal training system. Highly durable, easy to use. Order your Slow Toss today. Call 1-800-633-TOSS. Practice at your own pace, in your own place. With Slow Toss.
The Warriors open their season at home against the LA Lakers exclusively on Sports Channel. You can be at center court all season as Sports Channel brings you over 35 home games from sold-out Oakland Coliseum. When you can't be there, be here on Sports Channel. We go to the top of the 3rd inning, and for the Cincinnati Reds, it'll be Willie Green. Green drove in the first run of the ball game with a double in the left center field. His first time up, and he takes a good fastball from Carter for strike 1.
I was watching, too, in the paper this morning, they retired 2 numbers with Astros.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've seen that, you know. Actually, maybe the first time it's happening.
It is the first time, to my knowledge, I think it is. Well, no, Don Notabard, I think.
Notabard, the pitcher?
Yeah, I remember the pitcher. He died from cancer. And Don Wilson, I'm sorry. They did. So it is
the fourth
numbers. Yeah. Jose Cruz.
And Scott.
And Mike Scott. Jose Cruz was one of the best clutch players I ever played with. I mean, hitters. I mean, he could drive in a run for you. And he was probably the most underrated player of his time. I mean, he could really play. He could run. He could do a lot of things, and he never because he played in Houston his whole career, he never got the credit that he deserved, you know, because he was one. I mean, he hit over 300 several times, drove in 100 runs. I mean, he did everything, but no one ever knew who Jose Cruz was, except
that was
people in Texas.
Joe, I don't know how you felt when you first went there. It was so difficult to play defense there, and when you in the infield, you might not have had a problem
difficult
like the outfield,
there too.
Infield. But I never missed a ball there. I always kept my eye on the ball because they told me that.
Well, I remember one game we played there against the Giants, right at that first year it opened. There's a 2-2 pitch, grounded to shortstop. Jose Uribe getting the start today, throws out Willie Green. And Jim Ray Hart hit a fly ball to center field.
Yeah, got
Jimmy
an
went
inside
and never saw it. Right, it was a grand slam.
Grand slam.
I'm saying a guy hits a pop-up with the bases loaded, and he gets a hit, a home run, and 4 RBIs.
Yes.
Because the dome, you couldn't see the ball, and Jimmy, when it bounced, Jimmy never saw it. It bounced out there in center field. And Jim Ray Hart came roaring around second and flying and got an inside-the-park homer. But it was a difficult place, and, you know, just what you said, I could have played there all my career. No one would have known who I was either, because that did happen to Jose Cruz. He was a very, very good player.
Jimmy Wynn was a toy cannon.
Jimmy Wynn hit a lot of home runs there, but he would have hit a lot more in another ballpark.
Somewhere else, yes.
One strike to Barry Larkin. Larkin drew a base on balls his first time up. 2-0 Reds. We're in the top of the third inning. Inside, and it's 1-1. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Reds. No runs on 1 base hit for the Giants.
This kid's getting loose now. He's beginning to relax.
Much better fastball. He's popping.
It's popping.
Yeah. Popped up in the shallow center field. Coming in is Felder again. He's fighting the sun, but he makes the catch.
Yeah, very good.
You know, and everyone remembers Candlestick as it is now, but this is the way I remember it the first time I came to a ball game, Willie.
Well, this is the way I remember, because look at left field over here. Everything is open. You could not hit a ball in the stands here when I first came here. But the right field was so close, the wind would just blow it out.
Yeah, wind blew straight out to right field, which really helped the left-handed hitters and the right-handers. Yeah, the right-handers paid a big price when they pulled the ball here at Candlestick.
Yes.
In fact, guys like McCovey and Willie Kirkland and Leon Wagner and a lot of those guys were here at the beginning, hit a lot of home runs to right field. Paul O'Neill pops it up. Robbie Thompson is calling. And so Larry Carter gets his first 1, 2, 3 inning here as he retires the Reds here in the third inning, going to the bottom of the third, 2-0 Reds. Today we're going to take a look back at some of the great moments from the career of our special guest, Hall of Famer Willie Mays. There's the number retired in right field.
There's a long drive way back in center field, way back, it is Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
2-0 delivery, and Mays sends another one. Tell it, bye-bye, baby. Aaron doesn't even move. It's going far up into the center field bleachers. Willie Mays has tied a record, 4 home runs in a game.
Here's the pitch to Willie. Swung on, hit deep to left. That one is way back, way back, way back. Well, that's goodbye, number 600 for Willie Mays, and the bye-bye Baby Bonanza. And the Giants come to home plate to greet him. Number 600 for Mays. He hit it over the 370-foot mark.
0-2, Wegener delivers. Mays hits it into left field. There goes number 3,000. Willie Mays gets his 3,000th base hit.
Got an arm like DiMaggio, runs like Cobb. Could this be Sneaker back on the job? Makes lippy-dippy with his magical plays. Say, hey, Willie Mays.
He runs like a rabbit, sly as a fox. Got home run habits in the baddest box. He belts that ball and say, hey, it's over the fence and far away.
Say, hey!
Hey, Willie. Willie, wait a minute. That's say, hey, you can do better than that one.
No, I can't do
Look at those numbers. Let me ask you a question here. We saw you get your 3,000th base hit. We saw you hit your 600th home run. Did any one of those mean more to you than the other?
I don't think so, Joe. I think the Hall of Fame meant more to me than, the numbers, because once you got the numbers, you will be in the Hall of Fame. Now, that's when I was excited. Okay. When I got in the Hall of Fame, all those numbers came back to me. Right. But you know how strange that is watching myself. It gives me chills.
Yeah.
Man. How can a man do these things? what I'm saying to myself?
Yeah.
Did I do all this?
Yeah.
I can't explain that.
Well, but you did. We got it on film.
They tell me. Yeah.
Well, that's you know what? That's great. What's great about videotape, Willie? That's one of the great inventions, things that have really made things go forward here. We can capture things like that on tape, and we'll have them forever. I mean, we don't have a lot of things about Babe Ruth. We only show Babe Ruth when he was old at the end of his career, when he's kind of heavy and, whatever. But everyone thinks that's the image of Babe Ruth. But Babe Ruth was thin and was a good player. early in his career. He was, could do everything.
You saw all those numbers there. My father told me when I was a very young man, he says, you got to do all the things and do them very well.
Right.
And what I try to do, hit home runs, hit for batting average, steal bases, I did everything I possibly could do. Now, once I did it, I didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
I led the league 4 years in a row. That was enough for me.
Right.
I led the league in home runs. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't lead the league and run batted in.
Oh, you
I never led
did?
that. I never led that. That's the only thing I ever did, that I denied myself of. But I knocked in 146 runs one year.
Yeah, with somebody else.
Somebody that's ahead of me. Yeah.
No, but I think that's interesting. I mean, to be honest with you, in 1975, 76, a lot of people said, Joe, you're the best player in the game. That wasn't really that important to me. But to be the most complete player in the game was important to me. So
that's what it's all
my father
about.
did the same thing to me. He talked to me about being a complete player, and I think that is really what I was trying to be better, rather than being the best second baseman or the best this or that. I wanted to be a complete player, and I think that's probably, being honest with you, why I sit here with you and I'm always in awe of you, because when I watched you play here, and you did everything, I said that's what I wanted to be, only on a smaller scale now.
Wait a minute, now, you blossom out when you went to Cincinnati. Now,
Right.
tell me about that, because I followed you a long time, so I know,
Here's a payoff pitch to Jose Uribe, foul back and out of play. And let me bring up another point about that video.
Let me say this before this man leaves. I think Roger has done something for this young man Uribe here. He haven't played all year, and he's saying you may not be back, but we're gonna let you be a part of history, or maybe history. And I think that's a wonderful feeling in a kid, and I'm sure Jose want to play, and I think that's Roger is recognizing that, in the veteran part of the game,
Well, that's a good point. I think Roger has decided he was going to make sure that all of his veterans did play today, and I think that's very good. Line foul by Jose, and again, the year that the Giants went to the World Series, Jose Uribe was as important a part of that as anyone else on the ball club.
Yes,
he was a very good defensive shortstop, and he contributed some timely hits. So he has been, one of the mainstays of the ball club when they were playing well.
It's good to be remembered.
Yeah, good point.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to bring up a point, though, that we saw the great catch you made in the World Series against Vic Werth, but you said that was not the greatest catch you ever had.
That was a catch where in the World Series, if you look at it and go back, you will remember that it was 2 minutes on, and I think that was the highlight of the whole series, because if I'd have missed that ball, it might have been inside park to home run. They would have scored 2 runs, and we down maybe 3 runs. But I caught the ball, nobody scored.
Right.
We got out of the inning with nothing happening. So I think the best catch I ever made was in Ebbets Field, off of Bobby Morgan, when I was going through the air. I caught the ball, hit the wall, knocked myself out, and then still held on to the ball.
Larry Carter will get a base hit out of this. He chopped one off the plate, and he flies down the first baseline, and he ends up getting a base hit. So that is the second base hit for the Giants. I guess the point you're making is sometimes you might do something great, but if it's just a regular game, no one notices it. But
in the World Series, you have to pick a highlight.
Right.
And I think even Dusty Rowe he knocked in all the runs in that particular series. But I made the catch that broke that back, I felt. And I think that was the key to the whole series by me doing that. I think I got about 7 hits, but Dusty hit all the home runs, knocked in all the runs, But it was an enjoyable year in 1954 for me,
Here's Mike Felder. Felder takes outside for ball 1. Felder fouled out to the catcher his first time up. The Giants have 2 base hits. One by Matt Williams. It was an infield hit. And now another infield hit by Larry Carter. And there you get a look at what Felder has done in this series. He did not start yesterday's ball game, but he came in and got 2 at-bats after the 7th inning.
Joe, the ground seems like it's getting harder a little more. I don't know what they're doing. That's like when we used to play in L.A. Every time somebody hit a high hopper, Willie Davis or Tommy Davis, the ball go up in the air half of the way. So
well, they played with that crushed brick, though, didn't they?
I don't know what, red clay or something.
Yeah, and it was a hard surface. You're right.
Yeah.
Here it's always been soft.
I thought it was soft.
Guess, of the, being near the water and so forth and so on. and being landfill, I guess. But here it has been getting harder lately. The balls have been flying through the infield. There's a strike on the outside corner as Jose Rijo throws a slider to Mike Felder.
This ball club plays, Mike, a little different than any ball club I've seen. They usually play him around the left. They're playing him pretty much straight away now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they throw a slider inside. I think they would pull it.
Yeah, and I think it also because of Jose Rijo's fork ball. He has started to really use the fork ball, as I said, a lot lately, and maybe they think that if he gets ahead, he's going to throw it.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 down. Fastball grounded to shortstop. Second for 1. No play. Runners out at second, though, because Branson was taking the ball out of his glove. But safe at first base on the fielder's choice is Mike Felder. So the force out goes 6-4.
I don't think they would get a double play out of this anyway, but if you watch the play, Lachlan throws the ball at second. He is throwing, Joe.
Yeah.
He's got the ball already.
You just have to control the ball at second base. You make the catch, and the runner's out, and you try to take it out. The umpires will usually call it. Here's Willie McGee. Willie is 5 points below the 300 mark. He's had some bad luck. Friday night, he hit 2 balls hard. One hit off the pitcher's leg, went to second base. The other, a diving stop in the hole by the first baseman. And those two for 2 really hurt you. He started, and he's down to 295 now, trying to get back up to 300. He and
Willie
Will Clark
do not want to walk.
No, Willie doesn't take a lot of walks.
Every year that I watch him, I'm amazed myself because he goes up there. He may strike out 3 or 4 times. He goes up there and you lay one in the middle. He may line you out.
There goes Felder, fouled out of play on the hit and run. It's funny because, there are a lot of people have different ideas about bases on balls and how important they are. I believe that, bases on balls are a very important part of a team's offense. And if you look at a team that gets a lot of bases on balls, you will usually find a team that scores a lot of runs.
Yeah. Well, Cincinnati, he hit 5th.
Yeah.
He knocked in over 100 runs one year, St. Louis.
Yeah, he did. You're right. No, you're right. There's a 1-2 pitch. Runners going. A semi-pitch out. And safe at second for his 14th stolen base of the season is Mike Felder. Barry Larkin came across, and he tried to tag him as he went by. And he could not control the ball and make the tag.
It looks like the throw is on the inside part of the back, and it's tailing away. And Barry have to get out of the way of it. I don't think he would have had him anyway.
No, Barry hurt his leg. He's taking his time going back to second.
I thought he had a brace on there anyway.
Yeah, well, Friday night he did that too, and he came out of the game. He seemed like he hurt himself going back into first base, and then he went out of the game. I don't think he has a big brace on anymore. He had one for a long time. He probably has a small one now. Chopped to third and foul by McGee. That's Jerry Davis.
He's kind of limping, though, Joe.
Yeah, he is. He did this, like I say, Friday night, and then he came out of the game. So I don't know.
It might be his groin.
How long he's going to be here in the game now. But Barry Larkin, one of the premier shortstops in Major League Baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Giants are trailing 2-0. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Mike Felder's at second base. Willie McGee is the hitter. There's a fork ball chopped. Larkin is hobbling in, and he can't make the play. And he was hobbling all the way, and he was not going to have any chance of throwing McGee out.
Right now, Joe, they got to get him out of there right now.
Yeah, Jose Rijo kind of looks at him and says, hey, if you can't play, get out of here.
Get out of here, yeah.
Jose's still standing there looking at him.
No, he's watching, waiting for Lou now.
Yeah. And they have called timeout, and out comes Lou Piniella. It is scored as a base hit. And it's kind of funny, I laugh, but, Jose Rijo is standing on the mound saying, I can't get him out by myself. If he can't play, we need to move him out of here.
Larkin wants to stay in, but I think Lou's got to get him out of there. That's got his place.
Yeah, he's going to head for the clubhouse. I think he's going to walk down the right field line. And there's Bip Roberts saying, hey, man, get out of here if you're hurt.
Yeah.
And Berry's going to depart. There's Freddie Benavides coming in. He will replace Larkin at shortstop. There's Lou Piniella.
Okay.
McGee chops it over the mound. Now,
if you look at, go ahead, Joe.
No, you go ahead.
If you look at Larkin, as soon as he started off, he started limping. You knew right away that he wasn't going to make the play. And just before the ball was hit, I looked at Larkin.
Yeah.
When he got his head down, that means he's hurt.
Yeah.
That means he want to come out of the game. He doesn't want to come out of the game. So you got to take your best ball player right out right away.
Yeah, he definitely was hurting. And again, I think it may be a recurrence of the injury that he had on Friday night.
Yeah.
And Will Clark is the hitter with runners at first and third and 2 down. And this is a good matchup because it was obvious Jose Rijo didn't want to pitch to Will Clark in the first inning with no one on base, but now he doesn't have first base open anymore. We'll see how he pitches to him. And Will lines a fastball right at the second baseman. And that'll do it for the Giants. That's kind of like McCovey's hitting the 7th game in the World Series.
Yes.
2-0 Reds as we go to the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah.
Jam City, and I'm the mayor.
Yo, fellas, how about a game of hoops? Hey, what? With you? No, with your mama. Mom?
This guy was good, but he was all dribble.
Say what? Come on, man.
Man, he deserved one of these.
Franchise, want to call Bud? Solid.
I suppose getting older has its drawbacks. Your hair starts to get thin. You can't stay up for the late show. And spicy foods, forget them. But it's not all bad. When you turn 55, Great Western will give you a free checking account. Now, that'll save you money. It'll make you feel good. So if you're 55, talk to Great Western Bank. They've got 8 ways to get free checking. I'm going to do it in about 10 years.
It's the Giants Baseball Fantasy Camp. Spend a week in the major leagues with Giants pros like Dusty Baker, Dwayne Kuiper, and the Say Kid, Willie Mays. It all happens in Scottsdale, Arizona, January 31st through February 7th, 1993. The first 62 enrolled get a bonus camp at Candlestick Park. So call 1-800-GIANTS-4, extension 575 now, and you can get the details of the Giants Fantasy Camp in January. We go to the top of the 4th inning with the Reds leading 2-0. Hal Morris will be the hitter, and he hits one hard but foul down the right field line. Morris grounded to second base his first time up to drive in the Reds' second run of the ball game.
Nolan Ryan is coming back, next year. How old is he? 45?
40, more than that.
More than that? No,
yeah,
he's not more than that.
Well, this is 27th season. So maybe he is 45.
45, right?
Yeah.
But that's great, Joe. A lot of people ask me, why is he still pitching? If he can throw, let him be 50.
Well, he can still throw.
That's the main thing. Who cares about how
I did a game about Labor Day with he and Roger Clemens, and I'll tell you what, he was throwing harder than Clemens was in the game.
So let him play as long as he can.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah. That's what I want to do.
I'd like to ask you a question. Who are some of your favorite players, that are playing today? The type of player that you like, and give me some names of people you like to watch.
Well, I really don't watch a lot of baseball, and I know it may sound like a
nice play by Will Clark and a better play by Robbie Thompson and Larry Carter. Play goes 3-4-1 to retire Hal Morris. Will made a dive, an attempt to come up with it.
The ball is hit hard here. If you watch, Will, I thought Will had the ball, but it looks like Robbie is heads up. He comes over, makes the play very easy. What makes this play, I think, Joe, is Larry, the pitcher
Larry
coming
Carter.
over made the play.
Larry Carter got over very quickly and gave Robbie Thompson a good target. Here's Jeff Branson. Go ahead. You say you don't watch a lot of games, but
I watch a lot of baseball, but I don't watch a lot of individual players. And I think what I'm trying to say is that I don't have just a one player to watch like I did when I played ball. I like to watch Ted Williams hit, Musial hit, maybe Joe running the field. I like to watch Mickey when he was hitting left-handed, hit a ball to left center out of the ballpark. I don't have those kind of guys today. I don't know if you have any because it's sometimes you have a different respect of baseball when you play. You know?
Yeah. I don't have any to compare to those guys. I have some players that I, enjoy watching, but I don't have any to compare to those guys.
I enjoy baseball, and I enjoy sports because I watch football, basketball, all of it,
Right. Well, I'm the same way. Popped up on the infield. Jose Uribe is calling. 2 down. Yeah, that's interesting, because, I watch as we get a view from deep. That's deep center field. That's deep center field. Yeah, there they come through the runway, the opening of Candlestick Park. I tell you the people I like to watch. I like to watch, like, Cecil Fielder. I like to watch him hit. I like to watch Jose Canseco hit. Even though I wasn't a home run hitter as such, I like to watch the guys that let it go.
See, I don't see these guys. That's what my thing. If I see them, I probably would like to say. I heard about Canseco before he ever came to Oakland from Lon Simmons. Lon Simmons called me, we have a kid over here who can hit a ball farther than you. I said, oh, yeah, sure. And he found it was true. And I knew about it, but I just don't see these guys enough to make a comparison of the guys I played with. And
right. I think, the Will Clark of last year and the years past, I just love to watch him hit, and that's not to say I don't like to watch him now. But before he was, hitting a few more home runs, etc., it was a real thrill for me to watch him every day hit. And I like to watch, like Kevin Mitchell. I like to watch guys that turn the bat loose.
See, maybe I'm a little strange because we're talking hitting. I like base running. I like, fielding. I say maybe I'm looking at the ball player a little different than maybe just one dimension.
Yeah.
And,
my favorite player in the field is? I'll tell you that. Ground ball up the middle, and there's a base hit for Joe Oliver, and he has 2 hits today, and both have been to the right side of second base. My favorite defensive player is Ken Griffey Jr. Maybe because he reminds me of you or whatever. But I have never seen a player at his age, when he was 18 years old, play defense like he did.
Yes.
Usually guys want to hit, when they're young. And you develop your defensive skills as you get more into the game. Ken Griffey Jr. has played with that enthusiasm in the field since the first day I saw him, and he's my favorite defensive player.
I met him last year in this year in spring training for the first time. I think the reason for that, Joe, is that he's not afraid of the wall.
No, he's definitely not afraid of the wall.
And he goes after the ball. He doesn't let the ball play him, and that's what I think is why he's such a great, outfielder. And
there's a base hit down the left-right field line. McGee will cut it off, but he will not get it in time to hold Martinez to a single, and moving around to third is Joe Oliver. So all of a sudden, back-to-back hits here by the Reds have put runners at second and third with 2 down, and they're already leading by a score of 2-0. And the hitter will be the pitcher, Jose Rijo. That's a good point. I think a lot of outfielders are afraid of the wall, and rightfully so, I might add, because the walls will not move.
I've been very fortunate when I played. I never was on the DL until maybe last year of a season. I played 150 games or more each season, I never hit the wall and knock myself out, because as soon as I hit the warning track, that tells me there is warning there. You're going to hit something later, so I would pad myself.
Yeah.
And I felt that if I played aggressive, I never would get hurt.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I say that about football. If you play tentatively,
you're going to get hurt.
You get hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One strike to Jose Rijo. There's Pena as he gets up and starts to loosen up in the Giants bullpen. Ground ball to shortstop, Jose Uribe. Retired Jose Rijo. And the Giants avoid another jam here in the fourth. We've completed 3.5. It's 2-0. Reds over the Giants.
Where will you be when Jose Canseco makes his return to Oakland as a Texas Ranger? Where would you be when the San Francisco Giants play their last homestand of the 1992 season? Where will you be when the Golden State Warriors have their home opener against the Los Angeles Lakers? And where would you be when Eric Lindros skates for his first time against the San Jose Sharks? We know where we'll be. When you can't be there, be here. Sports Channel.
To truly enjoy the game of bowling, you must understand the rules. 10 pins conspire to hurl the ball at a participant who must catch it using only 3 fingers. Midway through its life, the female grouper becomes male. This is not an easy adjustment. It can be pretty confusing. We're not asking you to change nearly that much.
This suit at the Men's Warehouse is $200. Double-breasted, also $200. Elsewhere, they'd be closer to $300. All-wool tuxedo, $200. Quality suits, $200. We guarantee it.
This fall and winter, Sports Channel brings you a full lineup of Warriors and Sharks games. Turn to us for 37 Warriors games, including their preseason matchup against the Phoenix Suns at Harmon Gym, where Kevin Johnson's number will be retired. And don't miss the Philadelphia Flyers, Eric Lindros, in his first Bay Area appearance. It will be one of 25 Sharks games only on Sports Channel. Yeah, the hockey is back, and so will the Warriors. They'll be back this winter. All right, we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. And for the Giants, Chris James will lead it off. He'll be followed by Matt Williams and Robbie Thompson. Giants are trailing 2-0. 2 runs on 5 hits for the Reds. No runs on 3 base hits for the Giants. Jose Rijo all the way for the Reds, and Larry Carter so far for the Giants. Although Carter's had a couple of jams, he's wiggled out of all except the first inning. Jose Rijo has only had 1 jam, and he got Will Clark on a line drive to second base. James pops it up, that foul territory down the first baseline, and for some reason the first baseman...
That might be the first baseman ball.
Yeah, he lets the catcher make it.
Somebody have to holler there.
Yeah. So 1 down on the pop-up.
Joe, I've been kind of curious about when Toronto gets David Cohn away from the National League. You know, I watched this kid, you know, when he first came up. To me, he was a dominating type of a pitcher. To let him get away, I don't know the reason for it, but I think that helped Toronto tremendous. He's 3-1 now, I think, over there.
No, 4.
4-1 now.
4 games over there since he went over. He's won 4 ball games.
Yes.
And I agree with you that you wonder how they can let him go, to that team. Even if you're Milwaukee or somebody, you have to stop the waiver.
Stop him or some kind of.
I can understand why some teams didn't want him because he's going to be a free agent, but still, you can't let him go to your competitors. Milwaukee has bounced back over, and they're leading Oakland 3-2. Toronto was leading the Yankees, I think, 9-0 in the 5th. Here's Matt Williams as he takes ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. To report on Barry Larkin, you were right. It's his right hamstring, I guess, is bothering him. Mm-hmm. Toronto is leading New York 9-0. They're in the 6th inning, so looks like that race.
Joe, somebody asked me about Matt Williams, and I think Matt was a little worried in the beginning of the season about hitting fourth, and I don't know the reason for that, but he's back in fifth, and he's more relaxed there, I think. Base hit to left.
That brings up a good point, though. I mean, does it really matter where you hit in the lineup? I mean, should it matter?
I think so.
Okay.
The reason I give you my opinion, I couldn't lead off because I'm not going to knock any runs in.
Right.
I like to have men's on base because I know, first of all, they can't knock you down with men's on base too much, you know.
Okay.
So I had a hidden point there.
All right.
Maybe some guys like to do different things in different batting orders, and I've seen this many times. And I'm not saying that happened to Matt, but seemed like when he went back to fifth, he relaxed a little bit more, you know.
All right. Well, I think the key is still, as you mentioned, someone to hit behind Will Clark, and that is the fourth slot. Someone has to hit there. See, I believe that hitting slots are really a state of mind. Ground ball to shortstop should be 2 over the second one, back to first, and that's a double play, and that will end the fourth inning for the Giants. And we'll continue our talk about the lineups when we return. 2-0 Reds.
The hot dog at the game beats roast beef at the Ritz. Well, that's baseball, and it's my game. You know, you...
The VHP picture tube makes it seem like you're really there when you watch the RCA home theater. It also has pics in pics, so you can watch 2 things at once, in color. The RCA home theater is just another way we're changing entertainment. Again.
See RCA home theater products at these fine stores.
Fresh, pure, and natural. The only beer with the genuine taste of the king of beers, Budweiser.
Reporter Gail Gailey couldn't have asked for a better story.
Out of the darkness came a man with no name.
Rescued from a burning plane.
He saved my life.
By a picture-perfect hero.
You didn't tell me he was so cute. I'm a reporter. I'm supposed to be a professional.
There was just one small problem.
Oh, he's a fake.
The real hero was someone else.
Are you Bernard LaPlante, sir?
Call me Bernie. Hero.
Sensational story.
Rated PG-13 at theaters Friday.
Visit the Giants Dugout stores for the latest in team sportswear and gifts. Giants Dugout stores are located at Cottingtown Center, Santa Rosa, 170 Grant Avenue in San Francisco, Ceremony Center in Daly City, Stanford Shopping Center, Palo Alto, and Valley Fair in San Jose. And you can check out the Giants Dugout store near you. And I'm sure there's something there for everyone. And we go to the top of the 5th inning for the Reds. They will send up Bip Roberts. Roberts is 1 for 2, and he is now hitting .326. And we mentioned Gary Sheffield's at .329 at the start of today's ball game, leading the National League in hitting. So Roberts definitely has a chance at the National League Batting Championship.
Who they traded him for?
Traded him for Randy Myers, left-handed pitcher. He became the closer for the San Diego Padres. Fouled out of play, and it's 0-2. You know, we're talking about batting order. You know, to me, see, I didn't think it should make any difference where someone hit. I hit leadoff, I hit second, and I did that for most of my career. And then Sparky Anderson moved me to third. Yeah. I didn't feel any differently, really, about hitting third than I did second. The only thing I felt I was going to have an opportunity to hit with more men on base, which happened.
That is a difference.
Yeah.
You had a chance to move up in numbers as far as pay was concerned. You lead off. If you lead off, you're looking at 26, maybe 30 runs a year.
Yeah.
You hit second, you that first man you got to get over.
Yeah.
Hitting third, now you're the master.
Yeah, you can drive.
To me, that's important. And some guys can't handle that. You could handle it.
Well, I agree with that. Some guys do not want to hit third. Like I said, I was happy because it, gave me an opportunity to produce more runs. But
some guys don't want to hit with men's on base.
Yeah. I guess it does depend on the frame of mind that you have.
Yes.
Foul by Bip Roberts. No. All right, let me reverse it. All right, you're hitting how important was it for you to have a big hitter behind you?
Well, it didn't make any difference to me because if I'm on first, I'm gonna steal second anyway if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
And but when I take my last 3 or 4 years with the Giants, I wouldn't steal because of McCovey.
Right.
Because we only had one left-hander in the lineup, so I want him to swing the bat. I remember one time in San Diego, I led off with a walk, and Dick Williams was the manager. He threw 3 balls back to the backstop for me to go to second so he can walk McCovey. So I just stayed right there. McCovey strikes out. Then Clyde King said, "Why didn't you go?" I said, "Oh, just hold on." But next time he hits a home run. Next time he hits a double. Next time he hits a home run. He drove in 7 runs. Yeah. So that told Clyde the game. That's why I didn't run, you know.
Make sure McCovey gets his at bat.
You have to.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and for the one of the very few times you will ever see a player just walk off. I mean, Bip Roberts says, hey, yeah, that was a good pitch, and he took it and he walked off. I really like that. Now watch Bip Roberts. I mean, he just walks off, doesn't yell at the umpire, doesn't say it's your fault or anything else. Says it's my fault for taking it.
How many times have you been thrown out of a game?
Once.
Who threw you out?
Doug Harvey. Not Doug Harvey. I take it back. I'm sorry. I'm with John Kibler. Lying to Will McGee. But I didn't get thrown out for arguing a pitch. I got thrown out because it was like this. It was 2 days before the season was over. I was hitting 299. I had a ground ball up the middle, and I was across the bag, and he called me out. And I just said, hey, you know, because I was the first inning, I had 3 more at bats, so I really didn't get that mad. And he kept following me out to second base. The inning was over, and he's standing out there saying, so I said, well, you missed the play. He said, well, you're out of the game. So Sparky came out, and he says, what happened? He says, he's out of the game. He said, well, did he curse at you? He said, no. He said, did he yell at you? He said, no. He said, why'd you kick him out? He says, because he told me that I missed the play. Sparky said, you did miss the play. He said, you're out of here, too. So he kicked us both out for the same reason. He said he missed the play. And McGee retires Benavides for the final out here in the 5th inning. So after 4.5, it's the Reds 2 and the Giants nothing. And now let's take a look at our final edition of great plays made around the major leagues. And those are some great plays. Speaking of great plays, did you see the catch that Otis Nixon made from center field? Went over in right center in the in the top of the 9th inning. Van Slyke hit a ball that was clearly over the wall.
Went over the fence. I saw the highlight
of that.
Yeah, I saw the highlight.
Man,
that's good.
Man, that was a great play.
Yeah,
I tell you, that's the best play this year by far. Unbelievable, and especially under the circumstances. You know, if it goes out, you know, they lose the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning with the Reds leading the Giants by a score 2-0. I'm Joe Morgan along with Willie Mays, bringing you the final game here on Sports Channel for 1992. And in case you joined us late, my partner Dwayne Kuiper, who is normally with us, is back in Wisconsin attending a funeral, and he's also accompanied by his 2 brothers who work here at Sports Channel with us, Jeff Kuiper and Glenn Kuiper. They had a death in their family, and they had to go back. And Sports Channel, along with myself and my family, send our condolences to the Kuiper family, who have become good friends as well over the years, and wish them luck. 1 strike to Kurt Manwaring here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He grounds it to second baseman Jeff Branson. 1 down. We're talking about baseball, but quietly, Jose Rijo is going a masterpiece here. Yeah, and I mean, the Giants aren't hitting very many balls hard. Exactly. Yeah. He's doing a great job. And we mentioned earlier his last 28 innings, he's only been scored on once in his last 28 innings.
I think the reason he came out, he tripped over first base in one game and hurt his leg. He had to come out. Yeah. And other than that, he's been rolling along.
Well, he definitely has. He's been pitching very well lately. He's 14-9 for the season, 2.60 earned run average. And we also mentioned he is the son-in-law of one of the greatest Giants pitchers ever, Juan Marichal. Fastball inside, and it's 1-ball to Jose Uribe.
How long was he on the DL? Because he didn't pitch for a while.
Yeah, I don't know how long he was actually on there. Well, I can tell you in a second here. That's why they give us these game notes. It might take me a while, though. Because they give you too many notes sometimes.
You'll find it, yeah.
All right, here we go. Jose Rijo had an inflammation of the right elbow. He missed 12 games, so that means he missed 2.5 starts.
Yeah.
At least 2.5. Grounded fair down the first baseline. Nice play by Hal Morris, and nice play by Jose Uribe. By Jose Rijo covering. That was a
great play.
Yeah, I mean, he made it look
on the line too.
And he made it look easy. Nice backhand stop and an underhand flip. Looked like he knew what he was doing.
Here we go. Rijo started right away. If you look at the play, he's moving. Now Morris goes over. There's no way that he can beat Jose back to the bag there.
Look at that feed.
Very easily. Very easily.
That's a big league play. They practice that every day in spring training, but still, it's a very good play. Here's a pitch to Larry Carter. He takes a ball. Carter had one of the base hits. He had a high chopper on the infield that went for a base hit. The Giants have 2 infield hits. Actually 3. One by Willie McGee, one by Larry Carter, and one by Matt Williams. The only solid hit off of Rijo has been by Matt Williams, as he had a solid single to left field in the 4th inning. This is what Mays was talking about. Jose broke right away towards first base, and that's what made the play work.
I think if everybody does fill their own position, I think this game is very easy. And if that pitcher stays on the mound, there's no way you can make that play that easy.
Puts pressure on the first baseman to try to get back.
Right.
But I think it's that way in the game. If everyone does their job, I remember a great player, a great manager. I think he was a great manager in my opinion. Anyway, Gene Mauch, he made that statement once. And I'll tell you about the statement when we come back, as that'll do it for the Giants here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Jose Rijo just continues to cruise along, and after 5 full, it's the Reds 2 and the Giants nothing.
People come to Subway for big food. They're in for a shock when they see our new 79-cent round sandwiches. Not just because of their shape, but because it's pretty amazing to think you can get a delicious sandwich on fresh baked bread for only 79 cents. They're perfect for people who don't want to pay a lot to eat with one hand. 79 cents, not since you were a little kid, has your lunch money jingled.
For more information on the new 79-cent sandwiches, bring your appetite to the Subway near you.
Sports Channel, my favorite team, Sports Channel-orama, the Sportinator, Sports Channel Atola.
Tonight on Sports Channel and every Sunday night during the football and basketball season, Sports Channel brings you complete game coverage of the Cal Golden Bears and Stanford Cardinal. At 5 o'clock tonight, watch Cal at Kansas, followed at 8 o'clock by Stanford versus San Jose State. And we have some changes for the Giants. Leonard in left field.
Lewis.
Darren Lewis in center.
Jose.
And Steve Hosey in right field. Royce Clayton is the shortstop. And the hitter is Paul O'Neill. O'Neill takes the ball. O'Neill has grounded to first base, and he's hit a pop-up to second baseman Robbie Thompson. And that one's hit hard and deep to right field. Going back, looking up is Steve Hosey. And it's a home run for Paul O'Neill. That is his 14th home run of the season.
Put a charge to that one.
Yeah, he leads the Reds with his 14th home run. But last year, Paul O'Neill hit 28 home runs, so he is still down from last year's production, but that is his 14th homer, and it gives the Reds a 3-0 lead.
Looks like a fastball down, Joe. It looks like it was down and away on the outside part of the plate.
Well, left-handers all handle the low pitch well, we know that.
Yeah.
And there's Jerry Crawford saying touch them all. And that brings up Hal Marsh. 3-0 Reds. Hal Marsh hits one hard in the left center field. Moving over for it is Darren Lewis. He makes the catch. I was going to say about what Gene Mauch said once. He said if everybody does their job for the team and just day in and day out, if you look up at the end of the season, you will have good numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Just do your job. Yeah, and I think that was a very accurate and important statement.
I was taught that when I started playing center field when I was 14. My question was, when I catch the ball in the outfield, what am I going to do with the ball? Leo explained to me, you catch the ball, there's a cutoff man, you make sure you hit that cutoff man because something else is going to happen after that. That's your job.
That's your job.
That's my job, yeah.
And if you do your job, like he
something
says,
good will happen.
Something good will happen.
Yes.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Branson. Branson is 0 for 2 in the game. He's hit 2 pop-ups to shortstop.
Joe, I was talking to it. I went to the All-Star game this year, and I was talking to Bobby Cox. He's such a relaxed guy. I never met Bobby before. You know, he's from down in Atlanta, down from where I live at. I'm from Birmingham, and I was talking to him, and what he said to me is that he try and let his players play and have fun. But you can do that when you're winning.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to do that. You know, and I started telling him that, but I couldn't say that, you know. But he's a guy that I admire a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they started moving when he went there to be manager.
It's interesting that Bobby and I played against each other.
Is that right?
In the minor leagues. Yeah, he was in the Dodger organization. I played for Texas. What was it? The Texas, what were they called then? The San Antonio Bullets. And he was playing for the Albuquerque Dukes at the time. They were the Dodgers chain. And we played against each other in the minor leagues for a year. And then I played him again, you know, after he got to the major leagues.
Yeah, I thought it was just great to hear him talk that way. I guess I started telling him, you're winning now. You know what's happening.
That's a good point. I guess that's one of the, I heard somebody say, well, man, isn't Stan Musial a nice guy? And one of the other guys said, yeah, it's easy. You hit 340. You can always smile. Yeah, you should be happy.
That's right.
Yeah. So I guess that goes hand in hand. If you're winning, everything's good.
Everything is
fine. As they say, winning cures a lot of ills that a ball club may have over the course of a season.
Yeah.
Runner at first, 1 down. Joe Oliver has a couple of base hits. He has doubled down the right field line, and he has singled into center field for his 2 hits in this ball game. Reds lead 3-0. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that pitch gets away from Carter. It's behind Joe Oliver and goes all the way to the bullpen. I don't think we have any doubt of whether that was a wild pitch or not.
Wild pitch already?
Yeah, we don't have any doubt about that one. Yeah.
There you go.
Just kind of slips.
That's over everybody.
Yeah, it just kind of slips out of his hand.
Yeah.
because Manwaring is looking for the pitch down and away.
Down and away. That's why he couldn't get it. Yeah.
You know, when you think back, though, I mean, all the guys, all the great players, they were always smiling, having fun. Actually, Bob Gibson, I don't ever remember him having any fun.
I asked Bob that one time, and I made a mistake.
You made a mistake
before he was pitching. You know, I said, "Hey, man, come here. Why don't you smile sometime?" Why am I smiling? What I got to smile at? And I left him right away because I know he's going to knock me down the next day. So I said, "Well, okay, man, you're right." You know, yeah.
You're right about that. I've seen Bob Gibson knock down a lot of hitters.
Yeah.
And, he could be 20-0 and he never would seem like he was happy.
I used to try to do that to Drysdale. I used the day before he pitched, I would go in there, "How you feeling, man? Hey, get away from me. Get away from me. I know what you're doing." It was fun there. Yeah.
Gibson later said he didn't want to talk to guys because, you know, he may have to knock them down in the game. He didn't want to knock down anybody that had become a friend or something. So he made sure he didn't have any friends on the opposing team.
Yeah.
But Bill White tells the story. He was teammates with him all those years.
Yeah, he hit Bill.
Went away the first time he faced Bill, he hit him.
He hit him, yeah. Philadelphia.
Yeah. Ball 4 inside to Oliver. And now there are runners at first and second, and here comes Roger Craig. And I think we're going to see a new pitcher because Dave Martinez, a left-handed hitter, will be the scheduled hitter for the Reds. And the call has gone down. There you see the new pitcher, Pena, coming in. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by GTE MobileNet, the best cellular call you can make.
GTE MobileNet. Our service is a better bet.
I chose GTE MobileNet because, frankly, they have the largest toll-free calling area. With the other cellular service, I was always outside the local calling area. Lots of toll charges. GTE MobileNet has a plan to fit everyone's budget.
I'm really relieved we chose GTE MobileNet. They provide us with one bill, one company, hassle-free.
Now, with 2 San Francisco locations to serve you, Pioneer Battery and Townsend at 2nd Street.
Go direct with GTE MobileNet.
Used to be a bank here. One day it was in business, next day it was gone. Well, if your bank is calling it quits and you're wondering what to do, switch to Great Western Bank. You'll find a 24-hour hotline, Saturday hours, all the conveniences. So, if your bank is history, come to Great Western. They're still making history.
There you get a look at Jim Pena and also the score, 3-0 Reds, and they're threatening again here in the 6th inning. Pena coming on. This will be Pena's 23rd game of the season. There are his numbers. He's given up more hits than innings pitched, which is something you do not like to see. And if you look at the base on balls and add that with the hits, you see that he had 62 runners on in the 41 innings that he has pitched. But he throws hard and has a good slider.
Joe Dustin said to me a while ago he's going down to, I guess it's Winter League down in Arizona.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going down to help him out because what I'm looking at is that the thing that I think our ball club, our organization need is fundamentals.
Yeah.
And I mean fundamentals start in the lower league, and that's what I'm going to try and do and help him out because Dustin is a very, very fine man and very good guy for fundamentals.
Yeah, and I think Dusty will be a manager one of these days in the Major Leagues.
Yes.
You know who else is going to be in that Winter League is Mitchell Page.
Oh, Mitchell
with
Page.
the A's organization. He's going to be down there. I saw him the other day. Hit hard to right field, but playable. Darren Lewis backs off, and Hosey makes the catch, tagging up at second base. And moving over to third base on the play is Jeff Branson. There's a fan, a Willie Mays fan. That's what I was going to ask. Where did you get that shirt?
I don't even have that at home.
Yeah, Willie Mays. Giants fan.
What section is that? Make sure I see him. Big, too.
Yeah, I saw that Yeah, he's a real giant. He got a hat on.
Got a hat,
man.
too?
He may have made those himself, Willie.
Well, maybe he might.
He may be in that
Wait
business.
a minute. I'm trying to see what it is. I don't even know what it is.
Here's Jose Rijo. Runners at first and third now. 2 down. The Giants are trailing 3-0. We are in the 6th inning. Jim Pena on in relief of Larry Carter. Carter pitched 5+ innings, and he gave up 3 runs on 7 base hits. Now Pena trying to keep the Giants close. Breaking ball swung on and missed by Jose Rijo.
Where is it?
There's a section that the Mays fan is in.
He's in the boondocks, though.
I'd like to know how they found it.
He's up there.
Well, he's
what
behind
section
home
now? He's
plate,
on the third side.
Third base side.
That's section 8 or 7.
Okay. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and Jose Rijo upset with himself as he goes down on strikes. That'll do it for the Reds, but they add 1 more on Paul O'Neill's 14th home run of the season. We've completed 5.5. It's the Reds 3 and the Giants nothing.
Okay, so where do you want to go? There's this great restaurant. It's a chop house. Okay, pork chops, lamb chops, veal, steak, prime rib to make your mouth water. Okay, okay. Seafood, lobster, crab. Okay. Wine list. Okay. They serve till midnight and there's live jazz.
The Garden City, Saratoga Avenue at Stevens Creek off 280 in San Jose.
Okay, the Garden City's got chips. Okay, so where do you want to go?
The Garden City, home of the original Silicon Valley chip.
In a few days, the government may hand you a new law. It was intended to protect consumers from higher cable TV rates. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that. It's loaded with special interests that could increase your cable rates. If you don't want that to happen, call this number now. 1-202-224-3121. If you don't, you could be the one getting soaked. There are only a few days left. Call your senators and congressmen now. Tell them to stop the bill that will raise your cable TV bill.
Yeah, the 11th annual Joe Morgan Celebrity Invitational Golf Tournament, October 26th at the Black Hawk Country Club. Beautiful Black Hawk Country Club in Danville, and Willie Mays is going to be there, and other Giants and A's players. We've had a great time there, and if you need information about the golf tournament, call 736-4863, and I'll give you the information you need.
All right.
And we have a great time there at Black Hawk, and have a great dinner, and it's fun. Grady's going to play. Dwayne Kuiper's going to play. Hey, man, look at this guy.
Where's that guy? What is that?
This is on the back of the shirt.
This guy got all this on there?
Yeah. That must be his business. He must monogram.
He must have bought that. He ain't bought it. He made that up.
Yeah, he made it. I'm sure he made it. We're going to have to get it. Go get him and bring him up here. Here's Royce Clayton leading off against Jose Rijo. Royce Clayton came into the ball game as a replacement in the last inning, and he is hitting in the leadoff spot. He took Jose Uribe's place, but Steve Hosey is hitting in the 8th spot. Clayton takes a slider on the outside corner for strike 2.
Seemed like Royce makes a commitment before anything ever happened, Joe. I watched him quite a few times, and if he stays still and watch the pitch before he makes, commit himself a little bit, I think he have a little more success.
Well, that's one of the reasons that he has a longer swing, is because he starts a little sooner than he should.
He needs a compact swing.
Yeah, he needs to shorten his swing.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, foul tipped. I was going to ask you about that. One of the things that we do not see now that I used to see a lot of, and that is hitters with thicker handle bats choking up, hitting line drives. Very rarely do you see a player without a thin handle bat from the end.
They're looking for home runs.
Yeah, and I think that, yeah, but everyone can't hit home runs. I think that's one of the sad things about this game. Everybody wants to hit home runs, but everyone can't hit home runs.
I think everybody have to take a little look at themselves and say, what can I do?
Yeah.
And go out and do it, because watching now, Rio is pretending he's going further and further out with the slider, and I think if Royce just stay that way, he's not going to hit him.
Right,
See?
exactly.
He's going out, and he made him bite a little bit. Now he'll come back in a little bit and see what happened.
But I agree, you know, that he seems to be moving a little bit too soon, and it's only like the snap of a finger too soon, but that's still too soon. There's a slider away, and he just reaches for it, as you said, and all he could do was, you know, hit a ground ball to shortstop.
But I think the more he plays, I think he would learn a little bit more about that. And it taken me about 5 years to understand all the hitting aspects of what is going down as far as a pitcher and a hitter is concerned.
See, that pitch is off the plate outside, as you said, and all he can do is reach for it.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to control the entire plate.
Yeah, but you see how far he goes back? That big swing would not allow him to catch up with the slider outside.
Yeah.
You need a real compact swing and let him go with it.
And here's Darren Lewis hitting in the spot of Willie McGee. And again, I think Darren Lewis is in a similar situation.
Yeah,
Darren Lewis, you know, needs to cut down on his swing. So there again, there was another big swing. He has one other thing that I see him do is he kind of drops down a little bit before he starts his bat. I think you'll see it on this pitch. Watch his body. See how he sits down right there a little bit. And
well, he's been doing that for quite a while, and that's why every time he hits the ball goes to right instead of him making a full swing and pulling the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
His hips definitely open too soon, and his bat comes through slower, and he hits the ball to right field.
Correct.
2 balls, 1 strike.
And I think they know that. That's the way they're playing him, round to right.
No doubt about that. Slider hit the second base. Branson on the run. Nice throw and nice play. Lewis is retired, and it's 2 down. That'll bring up Will Clark.
Okay, here we go. Darren looks like he's reaching for the ball the same as Clay. You see his front foot there? His front foot doesn't even come open until after the ball is gone. There he is right there.
Yeah.
And actually, he's moving to left field before the ball ever leaves the bat.
And any movement slows your bat down. I think that's the key. You slow your bat is slow, and if the bat's slow, you can't handle the ball out over the plate.
Yeah.
Here's Will Clark. Fouled off the fist. That's out of play. Will drew a base on balls in the first inning. Then he hit a line drive to second base with runners at first and third in the third inning. One ball, 1 strike. There's a fly ball to left field by Will. Hit pretty well. Going back on it is Dip Roberts. And the Giants again go in order. That is 7 straight hitters retired by Jose Uribe. Jose Rijo. I get all these Jose's mixed up. Going to the top of the 7th inning, it's the Reds 3 and the Giants nothing.
Come in here.
You see, this is a list of things I had to do on Monday. This one is everything I had to do on Tuesday, plus what I didn't get done on Monday. Wednesday's list is ridiculous. Thursday's hopeless, and here it is Friday. But things are looking up, because the one thing that I really need to do is go to the bank. And I can do that tomorrow, because Great Western is open Saturday. Even I don't need a list to remember that.
GTE MobileNet. Our service is a better bet.
I chose GTE MobileNet because, frankly, they have the largest toll-free calling area. With the other cellular service, I was always outside the local calling area. Lots of toll charges. GTE MobileNet as a plan to fit everyone's budget.
I'm really relieved we chose GTE MobileNet. They provide us with one bill, one company, hassle-free.
Now with 2 San Francisco locations to serve you, Pioneer Battery and Townsend at 2nd Street.
Go direct with GTE MobileNet.
Some help.
As we go to the 7th inning, today's game is brought to you in part by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And as we go to the 7th inning, we're going to be joined by the Executive Vice President of the Giants, Mr. Corey Bush. They feel like I need a lot of help today. Willie's here and Corey's here because Dwayne is not here, so we'll all work it out.
You don't need any help, John.
And we'll work it out.
You and Willie doing a great job.
Yeah, well, I always enjoy getting a chance to talk to Willie, and Dave Righetti has come on. He will pitch for the Giants here in the 7th inning. You see the numbers for Righetti. Like Pena, he has given up more hits than innings pitched, which is the first thing I look at. Here's Bip Roberts. Roberts is 1 for 3 in the game. We mentioned he is chasing the National League batting title. He was only 3 points behind Gary Sheffield. He is 1 for 3 on the day. 1 ball, 1 strike. Corey, Willie and I were talking about the Giants, things we've seen in the past and whatever, and the fact that some of the players here, what they have to do to get ready for next year. And we even discussed things like what the executives might need to do. But we brought you in to expound on that.
Well, actually, this is the one chance I get every year, and I've been fortunate enough to come on the last telecast the last several seasons, because it's really the only chance we get in the front office to acknowledge the tremendous work that everybody does who works in Giants productions. And I don't know that a lot of people realize that the Giants are the only team in baseball, as far as I know, I think the only team in all of sports that produce their own telecast. The people who work on these shows for Sports Channel and for Channel 2 are employees of the Giants, and we're very proud of that. And this is just a chance to come in and say thank you to the men and women who do such a magnificent job.
Well, I think it's interesting that you mentioned that you do, the Giants are in charge of production, et cetera, and everything. A lot of teams just sell their TV rights to an outside agency, and they produce the show for the Giants or for the team. And I remember it's been a very enjoyable time for me, because I started with you when it was Giants Vision,
That's right.
And after I worked for the Reds in '85, you called and asked if I wanted to work for the Giants, and it really saved my life because I was tired of traveling back and forth to Cincinnati. So it's been, fun for me. And I guess in 1986, I started, Dwayne Kuiper started with us, and Dwayne and I have been partners since 1986. And I even remember the first Giants Vision, as we see the banner. Phil Stone and myself worked on the first Giants Vision.
That's right. It started in '86 with just a few systems, and then we went on satellite in '87 and covered all of Northern California.
Actually, I shouldn't have said worked. I mean, Phil and I donated our services to
What's the least you could do? I saved your life.
There's a 4 to 6 to 3 double play as the Giants turn it. Bip Roberts a little slow getting up at second base. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, here's a kid that I feel that plays second base better than he plays center field, Joe. And I watched him in both lanes. He can play second base.
That's John Patterson.
Yeah.
And we actually didn't put him in the lineup, but he came in for Robbie Thompson, and kind of Ozzie Smith-like there at second base by Royce Clayton, completing the play in the air. Freddie Benavides is the hitter. Well, let's take some. There's Snyder. Corey Snyder takes over from Matt Williams at third. Litton's at first base for Will Clark, and we saw John Patterson. He's at second base in place of Robbie Thompson.
Let me say this to Corey, Joe. I think a lot of guys have played here, and you bring them back on the show, and I think that's a wonderful feeling. And they're not the announcers, and I know I'm not an announcer, but you give us an opportunity to express ourselves, and I think that's great. I myself, when you call me, I'm all excited, you know, to come and do something with these guys. They don't embarrass me one way or the other, you know.
As usual, well spoken, Willie. Great point. I think that's a great point made because a lot of teams do not do that. And I think when, as the old saying goes, if you lose touch with the past, you really don't know where you're going to go with the future. So I think that's very important.
Well, that's something that everybody in this organization, and it starts with Bob Lurie and Al Rosen at the very top. We want very much and have tried very hard to stay in touch with the people who have made this such a great team over the years. And to have an opportunity to bring a Willie Mays into the booth to talk about your experiences in baseball, to talk about what it's meant to be a Giant, and to lend your expertise to the broadcast, I think is part of what has made these broadcasts so special. And Willie, I thank you especially for not only being here for today when we needed you, but for being here so many times over the years to add something to these broadcasts.
Well, it helped me because I learned so much by doing these things. When I go out to speak, I don't have no problem doing the speaking there, you know. I think it's good for me.
So the play goes shortstop to first base, and that'll do it for the Reds here in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. We'll be back with Corey Bush and Willie Mays right after this.
Sports Channel wants to know, what are you doing this offseason?
I'll probably be playing a lot of golf and going over to Hawaii and probably watching the Warriors on Sports Channel.
Well, I'm going to get married. And I'm going to watch the Warriors on Sports Channel. I'm going to spend the winter in the Bay, and I'll probably come to the Coliseum and check out some Warrior games. And when I can't get here, I'll watch them on Sports Channel.
Call 1-800-4R-SPORT to order the Warrior season on Sports Channel.
Senator?
Yeah, Jack, come on in.
You wanted to see me?
What happened here?
Senator.
Laura? Originally, when this cable bill was drafted, our intent was to regulate rates.
That's right.
Now, the way I'm reading it, it's going to raise rates.
Only a few dollars a month.
Yeah, Jack. A few dollars a month.
Could be as much as $3 billion a year if you count all cable customers.
Well, you know what happens. The special interest groups get involved. Before you know it...
One of the reasons is the major broadcast networks want to now start charging cable users extra to watch their programs.
Only cable users? Everyone else will still get these programs for nothing.
That's the way it'll turn out.
And I take it nobody's asked the cable users how they feel about this.
Well, no.
The Warriors open their season at home against the LA Lakers exclusively on Sports Channel. You can be at center court all season as Sports Channel will bring you over 35 home games from sold-out Oakland Coliseum. When you can't be there, be here on Sports Channel. Leading off for the Giants will be Mark Leonard as we go to the bottom of the second inning, and the crowd starts to get a little restless here. And Mark Leonard will lead it off. Chris James was 0 for 2 while he was in the ball game. Jose Rijo has gone all the way for the Reds. He has allowed the Giants 4 hits. There's a liner, fair ball down the right field line that bounces off the wall, and going into second base with a stand-up double is Mark Leonard. And that is the 5th hit of the ball game for the Giants. Jose Rijo has shut the Giants out, but Leonard comes in and takes his...
This looks like a fastball inside, Joe, and he's strictly a fastball hitter, one-ball hitter. What I mean that is that when he goes up to the plate, he's swinging. And it looks like it's right down the line.
Looked like it hit right inside the line or on the chalk.
Yes.
With one down, that will bring up, who is the hitter? Steve Patterson, John Patterson. Patterson was inserted in Williams' spot when he took over for Robbie Thompson. And there's Cesar Hernandez. He is in left field. Patterson takes a strike.
Who's the first baseman?
First baseman is Tim Costo. Chopped off the plate. That should get the runner over to third. Jose Rio tries to make a barehand play. Cannot. So Patterson is on at first base with an infield single. So the Giants have runners at first and third with no one out.
This is what I mean by home plate being hard, Joe. Look how high this ball goes up. And the only play he have, if he have a play, is to try and catch it one-handed, which he cannot do. Actually, he takes his eyes off the ball before he catches the ball. So the Giants have back-to-back hits here to start off the seventh inning. And the hitter will be Corey Snyder. Snyder came in and he was inserted in Robbie Thompson's spot, even though Snyder is playing third base. Fouled out of play, high fastball from Jose Rio. This kid and I talked in spring training, Joe, and I felt that he had a chance to make the ball club. But when he had bad practice, he often said to me, I want to be here. And I knew about him coming from Cleveland. But he's just a real fine guy, you know. I don't know where we'll be without him. He had a great year.
Good point. Fly ball in the center field. Martinez will make the catch. Patterson goes back, tags up at first. He's headed for second, but has to hold up. Good throw by Martinez, but coming in to score the first run for the Giants is Mark Leonard. And it is now a 3-1 ball game in favor of Cincinnati. And we're going to have a pinch hitter.
Wood.
Ted Wood is going to pinch hit for Kurt Manwaring. Ted Wood on the season as a pinch hitter is 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter. And the Giants have added 1 run here in the bottom of the second inning to make it a 3-1 game. And they still have a runner at first, so Ted Wood is the tying run at the plate, and Steve Hosey will be on deck.
This is one guy I think they might protect, Joe, because this is a young kid that have a lot of talent right here.
Jose Rio has gone all the way for the Reds. You know, it's interesting, there's something we haven't touched on, but the Giants do have to, you know, protect players for the expansion draft.
15, I think.
15, right.
15.
The first time, and then after you lose a player, you can add 3 more.
That's tough. Tough.
Throw over to first. Very close play by the Reds. Jose Rio with a very quick toss. And Tim Costo, who came in for Hal Marsh, applied the tag, but back in time is Patterson. Another throw and another close play.
This is the kind of game I would like when I was playing, Joe. Tight games. When it started getting tight, I love that because
it makes you concentrate a little bit.
Well, it makes the guys out there move in different directions, and they don't know where they're going sometimes, you know, and it helps you to get base hits that way. Love this kind of situation.
Another throw, and John Patterson is back. 1 strike to Ted Wood. Outside. Well, the Giants' attendance for the day was announced. There's a good slider from Jose Rio. There were 45,630 paid today, which is a little short of what was expected. There's a total of 47,914 in the house. 1-2. Good fastball on the outside corner. And Ted Wood becomes the first out here in the 7th inning for the Giants. And the second strikeout.
I think he cuts the outside part of the plate here. Strong. Good fastball outside. I think Ted Woods looks like that. He thinks that's a ball. But the ball tails away.
Well, it wasn't a lot of movement by the catcher. He kept his glove right there.
He stays right there, correct.
There's the second out. Corey Snyder made the first out as he hit a sacrifice fly to drive in the Giants' run. Steve Hosey hit his first Major League home run yesterday. That's off the end of the bat. Foul. Hosey started yesterday's game, and he had 3 base hits, including his first home run.
You talk about a dedicated kid. This kid is very dedicated as far as work habits are concerned. It was very good.
I think one of the biggest adjustments for most players coming from college is getting away from the aluminum bat. There's a good slider on the outside corner, and it is no balls and 2 strikes. Two down. The Giants are trading the Reds 3-1. Hosey is the tying run as John Patterson is at first base. Seems like Jose Rijo has started to reach back a little bit, Willie, and get a little extra. That's kind of what pitchers did when they were trying to go 9 innings. They said,
I think he's similar again to Marichal. Every time something happened, he gets in trouble. He seemed like he want to reach back. He want to put a little extra on the ball. And if you notice, Joe, everything that he's throwing now, they hit. They either missing it a little bit or they hitting the ball to right a little bit.
Well, the last pitch was 93 miles an hour.
93, so that would tell you a little something there.
Yeah, he's still throwing very hard.
Yes.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. They're playing Hosey straight away in the outfield. Patterson back a little easier this time. Slider swung on and fouled back.
I think you're right. He only has 2 pitches that he's using right now, maybe 3. Looks like all game slider, fastball, maybe the split finger you're talking about.
Yeah, forkball. He's throwing that occasionally, but since he's gotten in trouble, he's basically gone with the fastball and the slider.
Yes.
There goes the runner. He got a great jump, but to no avail as Hosey goes down on strikes. John Patterson had a great jump from first base. That last pitch, 94 miles an hour. And Jose Rijo gets 2 strikeouts here to end the 7th inning. After 7, it's the Reds 3 and the Giants 1.
Jose Canseco returns to Oakland for the first time with the Texas Rangers, and you can only see it on Sports Channel. Watch Jose take on his old team Wednesday at 7.
Capture all the excitement of the 92 baseball season with trading cards. But don't buy dozens of card packs to get all the players from your favorite team. Call now and own a complete 1992 team set from Upper Deck. Get all your favorite players at once with Upper Deck team sets, the world's most collectible cards. You'll get the great Upper Deck pictures with all the players' stats on the back. Choose your favorite team, call now, and you'll also receive a 1992 All-Star team set by Topps, the most famous name in cards. And to protect your cards, you'll get free card protector sheets for your entire Upper Deck team set and Topps All-Star set. But that's not all. You'll also receive a coupon for a free issue of Baseball Card News filled with card collecting features, photos, and information. And best of all, you get all this for just $12.95. To order your Upper Deck team set, the Topps All-Star set, plus the free card protectors and the coupon for the free issue of Baseball Card News, use your credit card and call 1-800-552-5500 or send $12.95 plus $3.50 shipping and handling to the address on your screen or call 1-800-552-5500. Sorry, no CODs. Call now.
San Jose State head coach Ron Turner returns to Stanford looking for a win over his old team. Only Sports Channel can bring you the matchup on our special Sunday replay. Tune in Sunday at 8 for San Jose State against Stanford, only on Sports Channel.
3-1 Reds as we go to the top of the 8th inning. There's Jose Rijo. He is leaving after 8 complete innings. He gave up 1 run on 6 base hits to the Giants. And a new pitcher for the Giants also. There you see him getting a handshake from Tony Perez. Dave Burba comes on to replace Dave Righetti, who pitched the 7th inning for the Giants. Here you see the numbers for Burba. Most people know he came over with Billy Swift and Jackson for Mitchell at the beginning of the season. He's given up 75 hits in 63 innings. Again, the hits to innings pitched is something I always look at. Steve Decker will take over behind the plate as well, and he will be hitting in Will Clark's spot. The first pitch is a fastball to Paul O'Neill, who has hit a home run. He's grounded to first, and he's also popped up. I mentioned Corey Bush, the executive vice president of the Giants, is here, and we were talking about Giants vision evolving into Sports Channel, and we also mentioned earlier that Dwayne's not with us, which is, you know, a tragedy for his family, and also, you know, we feel for him and wish he was here. But he's not here, and he's, you know, we don't know, again, whether it's going to be the last game. So I don't know if I've done my last game working with Dwayne or not. I've enjoyed the years that we've spent together. We were good friends as teammates and also, you know, off the field as well.
It's a tough day for everybody because nobody really knows what the future is going to bring. And I know that everybody here in the ballpark and everybody watching the game on Sports Channel today or listening to it on the radio, and all of us in the front office, everybody who has any affection for the Giants right now feels very odd today because nobody really knows what to expect or how to feel. And it is really, I know that Dwayne was looking forward to being here today. And it's very sad that they suffered the kind of loss they did in the Kuiper family. And nobody knows whether this group that a lot of us who've been together since '86 when Giants Vision started, and you and Dwayne who've been working together since '87, and Willie who's been part of this since the very beginning, and so many people don't know what the future will bring. But that doesn't change the fact that it's been a marvelous experience for everybody, and that everyone who has worked on these telecasts has so much to be proud of, and we're so very proud of everybody. And I wanted to take this opportunity to express that on behalf of the entire organization.
Well, I think the great thing, and being honest with you, of working here is when we first started, you know, the one thing that you always told us, and I tried to adhere to it, and that was, hey, we're here to broadcast the baseball game. And I think that's been the most important thing for me. Ground ball, foul outside of first, because I have worked for NBC, ABC, CBS, and now I work for ESPN. And that is not always the case. You know, sometimes, you know, there are things to hype which are supposedly more important than the game because of ratings, etc. But here we've always thought the game was the most important part of doing the show. And to be perfectly honest with you, that's the reason that I have always stayed here and remained here, because, you know, trying to do 2 jobs with the networks and here sometimes gets difficult. But the fact that, you know, we've always tried to do the game first and make the game the important thing, which the fan at home is watching and should feel that way, that's been important to me, and that's one of the reasons that I've always said that I, you know, would have always stayed and will if we continue. But I think that's commendable because a lot of teams aren't that way. You know, what I'm saying is that we weren't told we have to always give the Giants side of a play, or give the Giants side of a controversy, give the Giants side of anything. We were always told we could give our opinion on what happens out there on the field, and I think over the years, Dwayne and I have tried to do that. Maybe sometimes we were wrong in our perception, but at least that's the way we felt at the time. So, and I think it's great that we had the opportunity to do that, because very few announcers get a chance to do that, and that's a fact.
If the people at home who watch these games over the years feel that that's what we've accomplished, and if they feel that maybe they've learned something about baseball by watching these telecasts, then we've been successful in what we're doing. The reason we did it, the reason why we took the step to bring the productions in-house was to do exactly that. Our commitment was to the game of baseball and to try to bring people through television the game itself without all of the hype and without all of the extracurricular activities. And if we've been able to do that, then we have been successful. I don't think, I know amongst the viewers, judging from the mail that we receive, that these telecasts get the kind of recognition that they deserve. I don't know that. There's a base hit.
Go ahead, Hal Morris. This is a single for Hal. I'm sorry, for Tim Costo, who took over for Hal Morris.
I do know that if you talk to people in the industry, if you talk to people at ESPN and you talk to people around the country, they view these telecasts both here at Sports Channel and on Channel 2 as among the best, if not the best, local productions in the country. And we're very proud of that, and I think the viewers have enjoyed it over the years, and I know we've enjoyed bringing it. And again, it's a tribute to a crew that is just marvelous. It's just second to none. And it starts with you and Dwayne, who've been so terrific together. If I start mentioning names, I'll leave somebody out, and I don't want to do that. Jimmy Lynch admonished me before I came on the air. He said, don't start mentioning names because there are too many. But we've been very fortunate. We've been blessed with some terrific people.
Well, I'm going to mention a couple, and that's Jim Lynch, who is by himself, I guess, today. Jeff Kuiper, who's worked with us, and he's not here. Corey Snyder over the second one, and Patterson turns it. That's 2. And that'll do it for the Reds here in the top of the 8th inning. And after 7.5, it's the Reds 3 and the Giants 1. And now let's take a look at some scores from around the majors, brought to you by Great Western. Montreal, Rojas over Chicago 1-0. Pittsburgh won the National League East with a 4-2 victory over the New York Mets. 8-1, St. Louis over Philadelphia in the first game. And Philadelphia game 2, it'll be Clark against Ashby. Atlanta is losing to San Diego 1-0 in the 6th. John Smoltz, Andy Bennis. And Los Angeles, Tom Candiotti over Houston 2-0 in the 5th. And Milwaukee is about to sweep Oakland. They are leading 5-2 in the 7th inning. And McGuire, his 41st home run. Minnesota hangs on, and they defeat Kansas City 4-0, so Minnesota will not fall off by themselves. And look at Toronto, 9-0 over the Yankees. Hal Morris in search of his 20th victory of the season. Boston over Baltimore in the 9th. Clemens is defeating Sutcliffe. And Detroit, Rob Deere, his 32nd home run. Tettleton his 31st. And the White Sox over California 3-2. Seattle, that's Randy Johnson against Nolan Ryan. Seems like Nolan Ryan only pitches in Texas. Probably never leaves Texas the last month of the season. So it looks like the Oakland A's will not clinch the divisional title today, as Milwaukee is defeating them, and Minnesota has also won. And the Toronto Blue Jays are leading.
Let me just mention a couple other people. You mentioned Jim Lynch, who obviously does such a marvelous job directing the games. I also do want to mention a couple of other people who've been instrumental from the very beginning. One is our director of broadcasting, Bob Hartzell, who came on board in '87 when we took Giants Vision on the satellite and did such a marvelous job. And then Mike Shapiro, who's been our coordinating producer, is our staff counsel. And it was Mike who, sitting with me one day, came up with the idea, why don't we do this ourselves? You know, we keep watching the games on TV and we keep thinking there has to be a better way. Why don't we see if we can take this in-house? And we went and talked to Bob Lurie and Al Rosen, and of course without their support initially we wouldn't even be here today. But I want to extend special thanks to Mike. He's been marvelous through all of this. And then there's a woman who has been with the Giants since before the Giants got here.
Yeah. I know
was with the Seals, has been my secretary since the day I came to Candlestick Park, Florence Myers. And without Florence, we wouldn't be able to get anything done. Well, Giants Vision, Sports Channel, or anything. And I need to say thank you to Florence for such a marvelous job.
I want to say thank you to Florence too, because she's been my secretary on occasion.
That's right.
You know, it's weird. I'm glad you mentioned that, though, that, you know, someone has been with the Giants organization all that long. I also read today that Arthur Schultz is the only other employee that has been here all that time, and Mike Murphy in the clubhouse, I guess.
Well, Mike Murphy and Florence Myers both work with the Seals.
Oh, okay.
And have been here since the first day the Giants came to San Francisco. Arthur Schultz came out with the club from New York.
Oh.
So in terms of seniority with the Giants, Arthur goes back the furthest.
No wonder you could always get me good tickets when I wanted them.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Well, you know, like you say, there are a lot of great people that comprise an organization. Grounded off his glove, the glove of Bankhead, and going to first base with a base hit is Greg Litton. As Litton leads off the bottom of the 8th for the Giants with an infield single.
Here's a ball right here, Joe, that the pitcher tries to hit right off the heel of his glove. Now he goes over. There's no chance, I don't think, he can throw this ball to first. After he slides right away. No way. Let me jump in here right away, Joe, because I like to say that I played at Candlestick Park for, I guess, 18 years, maybe 15 years, and I don't think you never heard me complain about anything out here. And I think if you had days like this, I don't think you would have anybody else complaining. But this is just a thing that I felt that had to be done because I was a player. And I got paid for it. I wanted to play, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And to see my name on that fence out there, that was the beginning of Willie Mays in San Francisco, you know. And as you know, when you first come here, I had a hard time, but I grew right with the city, and the city grew with me. So I had some wonderful times here, and I hope I can still, come out here and still watch the game.
Well, that is going to be a shame if they have to take your name off that wall. Hey, Willie, can I have it?
Well, we got a lot. I think we have the most guys named on the wall around the league. Is
well,
that right,
the Giants, in the history of baseball, have had the greatest players to play.
The greatest players?
Yeah, I think they have the most players in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And so I think, rightfully so, they've had maybe the greatest players in the history of baseball to play, for the Giants in, both New York and, of course, here in San Francisco.
Yeah.
There are some of the names, the Carl Hubbles, McGraw, and the reason there are no numbers on them, these guys played before they had numbers. Ralph Terry.
Let me say something. Wherever in the world there is a wall on which they put the names of the great players of the game, there will always be a space for Willie Mays, and be right at the top of that wall.
Yeah.
Willie, the gift you gave all of us when you graced a baseball diamond, whether us were in San Francisco or anywhere in the country to watch you play, was such a thrill. And there isn't anybody ever saw Willie Mays play the game that didn't thrill at what you could do on a baseball field.
You know how much rewarding that is to a player to have so many people think that of you, and I've played with a lot of guys. After you played, I'm talking about after you quit the game for 20 years, and they still talk about you like that. That sometimes gets into the heart. You can't explain that.
But it's funny, Willie, it doesn't seem like it was 20 years ago when you played. It's what's funny.
Because I stay with the guys all the time.
And I stay with them. And you think about it that way. Yeah. I also fell a minute. Steve Foster is the new Reds pitcher. And the Giants have a runner at first. Royce Clayton is a hitter, 2-1, fouled out of play. But again, I think all of us realize that, we are doing the game, but this is the last game of the season here at Candlestick Park for the Giants. They will go on the road, play 3 games in Atlanta, and then they go to Cincinnati to finish the season next weekend in Cincinnati. The Reds have led the Giants since the first inning. They got 2 in the first, 1 in the 6th, and the Giants scored their long run in the 7th, and it's 3-1. There's a base hit to center field as Royce Clayton slams one right back through the middle of the diamond. And the Giants are mounting an attack. And there are some Giants fans enjoying it in one of their luxury skyboxes. Royce Clayton hits this ball right back through the middle, which tells me the ball is in the middle of the plate end.
Just as I said, the ball have to be in, Joe, before him to make good contact like that, because...
And we'll get a look at it right in the middle of the plate.
Part of the plate.
Yeah. With one down, with Darren Lewis up, and runners at first and second, he makes a good bunt. Throw to third. Oh!
sir.
So Greg Litton is retired. The pitcher came up and fired to third base. So Darren Lewis gets a fielder's choice.
Here we go. Here's the bunt, y'all.
Well, we're blocked from that angle.
From the pitcher there.
Here we go another
again.
angle.
He's already there.
Definitely looks like he's safe.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get a closer look maybe. Now watch his foot there. Well, it's very close, but I think it looks like he hits the bag, but that's why they don't use replay in baseball, because you can't tell maybe. But I thought he was safe. Yeah, looks like he's safe there. But again, it's a very close play. And umpire Jerry Davis is closer to it than any of us. And Steve Foster will take leave of this ball game, and the Reds will bring Rob Dibble in. And we'll be back right after these messages.
You know what makes Harrah's Casino Hotel so great? It's the people. They make you feel so good. No. Harrah's people are really fun. No, more like a family. Too formal. Too stiff. Come on. They're just beautiful. Now you're cooking. Get the picture? Ooh, that was neat. So what are you waiting for? Come to Harrah's Casino Hotels and see why we're the better people places.
For hotel and show reservations, call 1-800-648-3773.
The Bay Area's first Volkswagen clearance warehouse is open. Out of this world savings. Volkswagen's own authorized clearance warehouse prices on every model. At Broadway in Oakland, over 150 brand new Volkswagens in just one location. And here's proof. A 92 Golf GL, $10,399, loaded with features. Broadway's discount price, $10,399. Over 25 to choose from. The East Bay's only exclusive Volkswagen dealer, Broadway Volkswagen. Just off freeways 580 and 24 at 27th on Broadway in Oakland.
3-1 Reds, and we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Giants have just had a runner retired. They tried to sacrifice the tying run in the scoring position. We'll take one more look at it, and make no mistake about it, it is a very close play. But you can still see the white of the ball in the air while his foot is on the bag. But again, very close. And
what happened to the tie? Go to the runner there, huh?
Well, I don't think it was quite a tie. I think he was there just
even
a
if
split second before. Yeah, he's there now.
He's
you
there
can still see the ball in the air. But like I said, it's a close play, and we have the benefit of a replay. That brings on Rob Dibble. There you see the numbers for Dibble. He has 23 saves, only 46 hits in 67 2/3 innings. And the Reds had won 8 in a row until the defeat yesterday after the big fight between he and the manager, Lou Piniella. And again, I thought they handled it very well after the fight. They got along very well. And there you see what he's done in his last 9 in the 3rd innings. 19 strikeouts. So Rob Dibble comes on in relief. And Steve Decker is the hitter, and he takes outside for a ball.
Looks like a big linebacker out there, Joe.
Yeah. I tell you what, he throws hard.
He throws hard. That's what Perez told me, that when he comes in, he makes sure that whatever you have, he lets you have it.
They're yelling Dibble, kind of like the strawberry chant, like Darryl that the Giants throw on him when Darryl is here. And the 1-0 pitch swung on and missed.
This is a situation either one of you guys would like to be up there right now.
I like to be here now. I don't care if he strikes me out. I love to be right there.
Game on the line?
Right here.
As they say, power against power. Just let it go.
He's going to throw. You got to look for the hard one. You can't be taking anything.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That was 90 miles an hour.
Koufax threw that 95.
Yeah, Koufax threw a little harder, I think. More consistent, too. He was Always up around there. There are the numbers for Decker, 200 average. Slider in the dirt. Nice stop by Oliver. Oliver makes a good play.
Darryl.
No, Dibble. No, they're saying Dibble.
Dibble?
Yeah. And there's Dibble. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another slider outside. I'll never forget, I was doing the game in New York about 3 Sundays ago. Bobby Bonilla hit a home run off of him, and I'm watching him. The game's over. He starts tearing his uniform off right there on the mound. I mean, here's the payoff pitch, ball 4. So the Giants now have the bases loaded with 1 down, and Mark Leonard is the hitter. Leonard came on in the 7th inning to replace Chris James in left field, and he led off the 7th inning with a double. And to this point, he has scored the Giants' only run. Here's Rob Dibble. Let's see his reaction.
Hold it.
Time is called. You know, one of the things that Dibble has done a lot of is he got ahead in the count to Decker, and he threw him a lot of sliders.
That's not his game,
right.
Joe. His game is speed.
He did the same thing in the New York game I was talking about. And he walked like the 8th place hitter, and he ended up having to pitch to Bobby Bonilla, and Bonilla hit a home run. Well, the timeout is for Billy Swift. He's going to come in and pinch run for Steve Decker. Well, the Giants have the bases loaded. Decker would have been the go-ahead run, so they're pinch running with Billy Swift. 1 down, bases loaded. Reds 3 and the Giants 1. Leonard takes a ball.
Canelo's going to let him pitch, too.
Yeah.
He's going to let him pitch.
1-1.
I didn't know he had a slider, tell you the truth. I thought always threw he throw.
No, he'll throw a hard slider every once in a while. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down, bases loaded. Swings and misses, and it's 1-2.
Like a changeup.
Oh, that was probably a slider. Yeah, it did look like a more off speed than the pitch before. But it was 91 miles an hour. Well, that's a real hard changeup.
Yeah.
And you see the note, the Giants are the only team in the major leagues without a Grand Slam home run this year. One and 2, the defense is set up for a double play. Dibble fires, and there's another breaking ball, a slider down and in, and Leonard goes down on strikes. It's a 91 mile an hour slider, Willie. That gets there in a hurry. Look at this. You do not have a lot of time to wait and see if it's going to be a strike. And the reaction of Dibble. So now there are 2 down. The tying runs are still at 2nd and 3rd. John Patterson is the hitter. Patterson has a single in the ball game. Outside, and it's 1-0. That was was 93 miles an hour, so about 2 miles an hour difference on the fastball and the slider. That can cause you some problems. The one thing I noticed when the hitters hit against Dibble, the harder he throws, the bigger swing they take. And I think it should be just the opposite. You can't, you know, you got to connect with it. You can't just overpower it.
Well, that's what I try to do when I face drives. Especially, I used to just make sure I hit the ball line drive until I get a good swing at it.
And you see there's another big swing, and it's 1-2. So Rob Dibble, after walking the first hitter he faced, Steve Decker, he struck out Mark Leonard, and he has a 1-2 count on Patterson. The ball bounces in the dirt. That's that slider again.
Oliver's done a very good job back there.
Yes, an excellent job. I mean, if 2 of those pitches get by, the game's already tied.
Yes.
And he has made 2 great stops. Here's the slider. This one goes directly into the dirt, but he does a great job of getting his body in front of it and just blocks it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, bases loaded. Giants trailing 3-1. Fouled back out of play.
Well, he's on it. You know, it's always funny. All good pitchers seem to have hitters kick it, and that tick the ball back rather than put the ball in play.
That last pitch, according to the speed gun, was 100.
100?
100.
I don't think I faced anybody.
I'm thinking the same thing.
I don't think I faced
100, man.
No.
That gets there very quickly. Here's a 2-2 pitch, and he strikes him out with a slider.
Yeah.
He set him up with the 100-mile-an-hour fastball and got him with a slider. We go to the top of the 9th. The Reds continue to lead 3-1. But before we leave, I want to say thank you to Corey Bush for stopping by, joining Willie and myself. And we'll talk a little later on.
Thanks, Joe and Willie. Have a good winter.
Thank you, Corey.
Sports Channel wants to know, what are you doing this offseason?
Hopefully enjoy some championships, spend time with the family. We're all involved in the Animal Rescue Foundation, so we got work to do for that. And if we're ever at somebody's house that has a television on, we're going to watch the Sharks on Sports Channel.
Well, hopefully my off season won't start till early November, and then I'll go back to Kansas City, and first I'll probably go to a few of the Blades games because they're the AAA team for the San Jose Sharks, and then I'll probably try to catch some Sharks game on TV on Sports Channel.
Well, I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy the season that we've had, play a lot of golf, travel a little bit, and watch the Sharks on Sports Channel.
Well, this off season I'll be back in the gym, lifting weights, getting stronger, and I'm going to take up ice skating lessons and maybe go out there and try to play with the Sharks. And I'm also going to watch the Sharks on Sports Channel.
Call 1-800-4R-SPORT to order the Shark season on Sports Channel.
What are you doing?
You have so many, I didn't think you'd miss one pepperoni.
Sure, take the pepperoni. Actually, take the slice. Better yet, take the whole pizza.
Ooh.
Take the shirt off my back. And my wallet. There's nothing left in it anymore anyway. Take my pants. And the car. And the house. Why not the house?
Hey, pal, relax. All she asked for was a pepperoni. Round Table pizzas have tons of toppings. Get real. Get Round Table.
Set sail on the Royal Odyssey from Acapulco with the Giants. It's the 5th annual KNBR Giants Cruise, November 20th through the 27th. Spend a week cruising with Giants players like Bob Brindley, Mike Felder, and Willie McGee along the Mexican Riviera. For details, call 415-995-6868. That's 415-995-6868 to set sail with the Giants in November. We have a new pitcher on the mound. That is Rod Beck.
I went on a cruise about a year ago with Joe, and it was fun. I only stayed 2 days.
Oh, you went on this cruise?
No. I went out of New York on the Queen Mary, I guess is I think.
I went on one a couple of years ago. I actually had a good time.
Yeah, it's okay.
Here's Joe Oliver. Craig Colbert is also the new catcher for the Giants. 3-1 Reds. Oliver has 2 base hits, a double and a single, and he's also had a base on balls. And he tries to bunt, and he fouls it. Crowd settled down again after the Giants' threat was put down in the 8th inning. And Rod Beck on to see if he can hold him right there and give the Giants a shot in the bottom of the 9th. There's a slider called a ball, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Looks like they're very serious, Joe, about not going on the field.
Yeah.
It tells you we don't want you doing anything.
Yeah.
Well, they got to play football here.
Yeah.
They only played, what, 2 games here?
They've got to play some more. Yeah, the season just started. They've opened up on the road 2 out of 3 on the road. So they'll probably be here next week. Off the fist is Oliver.
No, off his bat. He just
tried to get out of the way. Yeah, he tried to get out of the way, and he fouled it. He started to swing, then he realized he better get out of the way.
Yeah, if you look at it, he tried to get out of the way and hit the bat. Yeah.
For all of you at home, if he swings and the ball hits him, he's out anyway, because the swing takes precedence over that. Here's a strikeout for Beck, a slider. There's a pitch before on the hand. Now, if you come back with a slider, man, it's tough to stay in there.
You got to hang out of it.
Yeah, now here comes a slider. I mean, fastball in again. And then he tries to get out of the way, yeah. And you cannot hit the slider when he comes back with it. 1 down, that'll bring up the center fielder, Dave Martinez. Martinez is 1 for 3 in the game. He has struck out, he has doubled, and he has hit a fly ball to right field. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Normally, Willie, around 3:30, the wind starts to blow and everything.
You,
this is
a remarkable day as far as weather is concerned. Looks like this is the kind of weather you need every day to play in. You have a good time here.
You definitely have a good time playing in this. There's attendance for today. 47,000. 47,912.
Not bad. Everybody's got a lot of shirt sleeves on out here. It's a great day.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 down. San Diego is leading Atlanta 1-0. They're in the 9th inning now. Milwaukee's leading Oakland 5-3. They're in the 8th inning. A couple of the games that have pennant ramifications.
This is the 3rd year that Jack Morris won 20 games.
Probably
Detroit, Minnesota, and Toronto.
Toronto, yeah. Toronto 12-2 over the Yankees, and Jack Morris was the pitcher, so he will get the win unless the Yankees score 10 in the bottom of the 9th.
This is Clemens' 17th, I think. 17th or 18th?
18th, probably.
18th.
There's a swing and a little flare down the left field line, and it's foul. Let me check on that Clemens number. For some reason, I
thought he missed about 2 turns.
Yeah, well, he went where he didn't get any. He didn't get a win.
Decision.
Yeah,
a couple
decision,
times he didn't
right?
Get no decision.
I've got it in here someplace. I was hoping Grady would help me out, but he didn't, so I'll find it myself.
Grady said this is his last game.
Yeah, I'll find it myself.
Wait till next year.
All right, no, this would be Clemens' 19th victory.
19?
Yeah, he has 18.
Oh, he's got another start there.
Yeah. Ground ball to shortstop, Clayton. 2 down. Yeah, in the American League, Jack McDowell already has 20. Kevin Brown for Texas has 20. This will be Morris's 20th, and Clemens will now have 19. And the boos are for Rob Dibble as he steps to the plate for the first time. In the National League, only Tom Glavine has 20 wins. Greg Maddox of Chicago has 19, and he's the only other person with a chance to win 20 this year in the National League. Dibble is 1 for 4, and he hits another one up the middle, so now he is 2 for 5.
He swings the bat, Jim.
Yeah.
Swings it very well.
And there you see Tony Perez, the big dog, calling for the warm-up jacket.
Very nice man, Joe.
Yeah, great guy. I mean,
Great,
you know, I played with him for 8-9 years, actually. And I tell you what, I never saw anybody have anything bad to say about him. I mean,
He
was always
doesn't talk bad about people.
Right, he was always the same.
Always the same. And I wonder how can he do that, especially if he's in a slump.
Yeah.
You'll never know it.
You know, when he used to come in the clubhouse, you didn't know if, after the game, you didn't know if Tony Perez was 4 for 4 or 0 for 4.
Oh, yeah,
you never
he was
could
same
tell
all the
just by
time,
watching him. Yeah. It was always the same.
Yeah.
With 2 down, there's a swing and a miss by Hernandez. Cesar Hernandez went in to replace Bip Roberts. Roberts ended the day with a 1 for 3, so he will stay where he was at the beginning of the day in the batting race. Slider, and it's 0-2.
That would be great to see Biff win something like that. And when they've been playing up Bobby, they're playing up Sheffield.
Yeah.
And he sneaks in there.
Yeah.
Well, Kruk is
Kruk,
hurt
well,
now.
he's hurt now, so he's out of it.
Yeah.
Well, there's strike 3 as Hernandez goes down on strikes. Well, we go to the bottom of the 9th. It's the Reds 3 and the Giants 1.
Okay, so these guys may know a little more than we do about Bud. It's the rice. It's the hops. It's the rice. But of course, we know a lot about other things. Hi, can I buy you something to drink? Yeah, like maybe a light beer?
Budweiser.
Or maybe you'd like a Bud.
Someday, boy, you're gonna learn from your mistakes.
If your VCR is a pain to program, then get rid of it. And get the one from RCA with VCR Plus built in. To record a show, just look for the VCR Plus code in your TV listing. Then punch it in. It's as simple as that. So if you had it with your old VCR, get rid of it. And get the new one from RCA with VCR Plus built in.
See RCA home theater products at these fine stores.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Giants are trailing the Reds by a score of 3-1. And for the Giants, it will be leading off against Rob Dibble. There's Roger Craig, the manager of the Giants, Robbie Thompson. So Rob Dibble will be trying to get his 24th save of the season. He and Norm Charlton had shared the duties of closer most of the way. And a little
What is that, 105?
That was 98 miles an hour, and it's way off the plate inside. Snyder is just barely able to get out of the way. Actually, the ball just missed him because it goes by him before he moves. Ball 2. Dibble walked the first hitter he faced in the 8th inning, and that was Steve Decker, and then he proceeded to strike out Mark Leonard and John Patterson to end the inning. And he is in danger of walking the leadoff hitter here in the 9th inning.
Looks like he's playing around to try and get somebody on base so he can pitch.
And the Giants have their leadoff hitter on here in the bottom of the 9th. And that'll bring up Craig Colbert. Colbert will be batting for the first time in today's game. See Lou Piniella moving Tim Costo at first base to the position that he wants him to play behind Corey Snyder at first base. There's a slider on the outside corner called strike one. He really took a lot off that pitch. 86 miles an hour.
We call him Action Jackson. It seemed like he won action with people not on base.
And it's 1-1. The Milwaukee Brewers defeated the A's today 5-3, so they sweep the 3-game series from the A's. And they remain 2.5 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays. There's a base hit to left field. So Rob Dibble, trying to throw a strike, took a lot off the pitch, and Corey Snyder lined it to left field for a base hit. Now we'll see if they have Steve Hosey up there trying to bunt. Real difficult to bunt a 90-mile-an-hour, 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
But we'll see. He is trying to bunt, and he takes low for a ball. That was 97 miles an hour. See Willie Green giving the signals. That's telling the other infielders where they're going to use the rotation play or not. Meaning he will charge, the shortstop goes to third, second baseman goes to first, and the first baseman charges. Strike on the inside corner.
I think he's up there for one purpose, Joe, and he have to do that. He can't be messing around up there.
Yeah. Swung on and fouled, yeah. They took it off, and Hosey swung and fouled it. 99 miles an hour. And Hosey just gets a piece of it. One ball, two strikes. High in the air to left field. Not too deep. Tagging up his second is Snyder. But he does not go as the throw goes into third base. One down. And Greg Litton will be the hitter. Litton had a single his first time up. He only came into the game as a defensive replacement in the 8th inning, and he ended up hitting in the bottom of the 8th.
What a luxury you have when you have a Dibble, then you have a Charleston to do the job at the end. That's what this game is all about. 7th inning, bring those two guys in.
That's kind of what the game has evolved into, because you know and I know when Gibson or Marichal was on the mound,
you wouldn't go out there.
You're right. This is their time.
Yeah. This is where they want to be at.
Yeah. Just like hitters, they want to be out there.
I want to be on the field. I don't want to be in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Looks like this is what relieving is all about, too.
Yeah. Runners at first and second, one down. Slider called a strike. He seems to have better control of his slider right now than he does of his fastball. That's 85-mile-an-hour slider. A lot faster than a lot of guys' fastballs. Rob Dibble trying to keep the Reds in the pennant race. There's another good slider, strike 2. That was 90 miles an hour. The Atlanta Braves were losing 1-0 in the 9th inning in San Diego. There's a slider on the outside corner, strike 3, throwing 3 straight sliders. Well, San Diego has lost the lead, and now Atlanta has a 2-1 lead going into the bottom of the 10th inning. So now there are 2 down, and that is the 3rd strikeout for Dibble since he came on.
And now it looks like a slider outside again. But
yeah,
you're right. I think he got better control.
He does.
Of the slider right now than he had with the fastball. He missed 10 games, Joe. I think in that 10 games, you're looking at 5 saves somewhere along the line. Well, it could be in the 30th part of it.
Yeah.
I think the fans are realizing that this could be the last right here. They're all standing.
And Royce Clayton could be a trivia question.
Yeah.
But he will not be.
He will not be.
And there's a base hit, so now the bases are loaded with 2 down.
You can tell a lot about this game because the fans will let you know what's going on. You just have to listen a little bit.
The fastball, middle of the plate. Clayton's a little late on it. Branson dives and makes the stop, but he could not get up and be in position to make the throw. He gets away. And the trivia question, as you see Roger Craig tell him to hold up at 3rd. The trivia question obviously could be one of these days, who made the last out at Candlestick Park? For you trivia buffs out there. And Darren Lewis is the last hope for the Giants here in the bottom of the 9th. There are 2 down. A base hit could tie. An extra base hit could win.
Oh, slider.
Strike 1.
Slider again.
Dibble definitely has better control of his slider today than the fastball. Another slider. And quickly he's ahead of Darren Lewis, 0-2. When you have a 90-mile-an-hour slider and you can control it,
you can't wait.
Can't wait. You're right.
Can't wait. Oh, fastball.
There's the wild pitch. Oh my. This time Joe Oliver cannot save him. And now the winning run is at second base with 2 down.
This ball is way outside, Joe. And I think Oliver did a good job just getting the catchers getting mid on the ball.
Because Oliver saved a couple of pass balls earlier.
Yeah. But it wasn't this far out. This time it's outside and hard.
Very hard.
Hard.
So it is now